That we should be fine. Hello everyone. I have once again been a complete dum-dum and kind of forgot to press the go live button, but I think we're fine. I realized it this time. So, progress. We're going to continue with McLaren, kind of where we left off last time. Hopefully it will go well this time around. We have Great Britain, round 11 upcoming. We have a training schedule to set up. And hopefully, we'll have a good one. Bit unfortunate for Piastri today, too, in Spa. He lost out on pole by just a few thousandths. Hello, Poke Ronaldo. Nice to see you back again. The Alpha stream? Did I write something wrong? Sorry, I was planning to continue the McLaren stream. Alpha game is on. I'm currently in the process of recording it. Just the video I uploaded was a tidbit that I found during quality testing. That's why I uploaded that. Hello, Steven. Yeah, Piastri was amazing quality today, honestly. Might be better than Norris right now. Hello, Bakang. No, it's good. It's my bad. I might have, honestly, I might have written Alpha as a mistake, but I'm making an offline series for AlphaTauri that's going to go to basically more of a tutorial, kind of, for the new mechanics and kind of development, so we'll see that. Hello, Pogman. Everything's going good. I'm feeling great. Hope you're doing well as well. No. Alpha will be its own little series. I'm probably about halfway through the first video. Requires a bit more editing and cutting because it will be mainly focused on car development. But I think we're ready. Thank you all for showing up. The first thing we need to do is get the training schedule set up, and once again, we are going to be focusing on pit stop time. Again, we want to get this under 2 seconds as our first priority. Piastri did get P2, indeed. Just a shame. I kind of wished he would have beat out Verstappen there, but he was close, just 11 thousandths of a second. Yeah, me too. Hope you're doing well, Pano. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well, honestly. I think the game got a little difficult and currently doing Williams tape. Honestly, it seems like the game has gotten a bit more difficult, yeah, a little bit more advanced, particularly because they've added more stat boosts to facilities, meaning that top teams not only have the extra stats from their staff, but they also have the extra stats from their facilities, meaning that a team further back in the grid is going to have even more of a challenge to overcome. So it's gotten more complex, which is good, which is very nice. So honestly, I welcome it, personally. Okay, pick rule, no problems there, no problems here. We could probably toss in okay, we can't toss in a few. To make sure that we aren't weary for the race weekends themselves, because that would actually be very detrimental to those weekends. Okay, that's the one we want to change. Let's just switch everything to gym to begin with, and then we'll see where we stand. Let's see, tired is okay, weary is not, so we're probably going to have to skip one of the sessions. There we go. So this month we won't get too much of a boost here on the estimated pit stop time. We might actually reach cap, maybe. Let's have a quick look here. Nope, we haven't. We're getting close, but I don't think we've reached the cap yet. Again, your pit crew will have caps to the stats based on this man right here, Randeep Singh. His aptitude decides how high our pit crew rating can go and how quick it can be. We're actually going to probably switch this over to aptitude process. Industry standards is probably the better one. There we are. Upgrades got very expensive. Yeah, the upgrades have gotten expensive. Manufacturers have gotten expensive. So I'm currently doing a philosophy where we only do intense designs. Mainly because doing standard or rush designs is going to just cost us a ton of money in terms of manufacturing the parts themselves. Hey Edster, how you doing? Think I got your revenge in the first half race. Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. But considering what Hulk did to me yesterday, I just have to laugh. Practice 3, that position 3. Okay. Yes, Julian, I will be making videos about upgrades, but before I know anything, before I understand completely how the system works, I don't want to chuck out a video that is gonna misinform people. But I think I figured out the best strategy, like the general strategy for Season 1. So I might just go ahead and make a video that describes early development for Season 1 in terms of how you can most efficiently get a midfield car to top of midfield, or one of the top 4 cars into being, you know, one of the best top 4 cars, if that makes sense. So I'll probably make a video about that sometime soon, probably within a couple of days. But at the same time, I want to be sure before I start saying that, oh, this is the best way to do something, the most efficient way. And then turns out I'm going to have to make a video a couple of days later. Sorry, boys, I found a better one. So I'll be making something like that very shortly, but it's not going to be a complete guide to design like I made last year. It's probably just going to be a early game development kind of thing. We'll see. For now, though, we are going to continue with the McLaren stream. Team Hub has been completed. Okay. Now, I have been playing a couple of other saves to test things, also the AlphaTauri thing, so I'm actually going to have to take a little second here to catch up on what we're doing. We're making underfloor and suspension, okay. Chassis and sidewalls are being manufactured. How are we looking in terms of CFD here? 60 days, okay, so we probably just started the underfloor then, I think. So that makes sense. Okay. Let's go Ferrari. Ferrari game, eh? Okay, we're immediately into Silverstone. Scanning completed for Enrico. Okay, this guy is actually very, very good. He is a 94 average, but his, you know, his stats above 98 underfloor, 98 rear wing, front wing. Yeah, remember, this guy was interested in our team, but because it's a race weekend, he's no longer interested. We don't know his contract length, things like that, so we're just going to go ahead and put in a detailed scouting there, because we can pick that man up. He's just going to be a huge upgrade to our entire team. Doing a Williams day at the moment, and the micromanagement during races is crazy. I've hardly skipped anything since I'm trying to keep the drivers in DRS zones and managing tire temps. Although the benefit of upgrades being so expensive is that it takes 1 month to get underfloor upgrade done. Yeah, they have kind of balanced things, so that is good. Killex, the tire temps, while they are important and will slow you down, on certain tracks, the tire temps, even though if you're running in the red zone, you will be running quicker than if you weren't. So that makes it a bit more... it might seem bad to run not within the optimal tire temps, but on certain tracks it's actually beneficial. You won't have too high of a degradation even so. So let me rephrase that. On low degradation tire tracks, you can generally run them too hot and still run quicker without losing too much time or losing too much degradation. So sometimes it's actually a good idea to do that. Now that I've played some more slots in the game, personally, I enjoy it a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. It feels fresh, it feels new. I've had a couple of annoying bugs that I've also had to deal with, but generally I like it, honestly. But then again, I do like this types of game, so I am a bit biased to begin with. I don't even remember what kind of results we've had. Give me a second. Standings Championship. Okay, so we have 45 points, which means that we've been finishing the points pretty reliably, I dare say. So, okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit mentally boomed right now. I'm just going to set up this quickly and then I'll come back to you guys. So top 10 should be doable, I guess. We're going to gamble on it at least. Fast lap, I don't think we can do that. Q3, Q2, both drivers in Q2. One driver in Q3. Piastri still needs a little bit of work. But yeah, Haas again with the worst facilities, no helipad or tour center. AlphaTauri actually has a very annoying feature with their facilities. They have an upgraded scouting department, and that is not something I'm a fan of. Will you be doing a save? Will you move teams and build them all up? Probably once team switching gets released. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I do think Alpha is most difficult. I haven't had a look at the facilities personally, but the only thing they got going for them is basically just Bottas. So you're going to have a proper challenge there. They did do Piastri dirty here, but again, what I really would like to see is, let's face it, a free update where you could download driver stats from, say, mid-season and end of season to keep things a little bit more, what's it called? More alive. What am I even trying to make things a little bit more interesting? Because if you could choose different set of driver stats from mid-season, late season, you could always switch it up as you saw fit. Monster, I don't think you can push to the maximum, but I know that in Jeddah, even though I'm burning tires, I can go aggressive for the entire stint and still be faster than if I ran standard. Say that I go on the softs at Jeddah. Standard run will keep you basically within temperature the entire run. Aggressive will keep you slightly burning the tires, well, moderately burning the tires for the entire stint, but you'll still be faster. So it depends on the track. Some tracks it might be a good idea to burn tires, some tracks it might be. Tire deg is based on weather and track temps, yeah, but some tracks also have better degradation. For instance, if you have a look here, I don't know if they actually let you know. There we go. Track abrasiveness, this thing. So for Silverstone, the track itself has a high tire deg to begin with, I believe, or is it the other way around? That the high abrasiveness is good, low abrasiveness is bad? I don't remember. But basically, the tracks themselves has a degradation stat too, and you need to keep that in mind. 21-second pit lane, safety car, pit stops would be beneficial. Softs are 5/10 quicker. With degradation, we'll be about 11-12 laps. Medium's just 3/10 quicker. Okay, we don't want to do hard step, we want to do medium and soft for the most part. But we'll get the race weekend underway. Does medium depend on track? What do you mean, medium tires or medium abrasiveness? Yeah, in the circuits it does say, but I don't remember if... Again, English is not my first language, and some words is still not good for me. If you go into circuit overview here, it'll tell you track abrasiveness. Be wrong, but I think wet on track. Yeah. Did it just scale? My F1 manager finally got a Discord server. I do know, but Discord doesn't like my phone number, so I'm not allowed to post there. Discord just straight up says I can't use my phone number. So I'm a part of the F1 Manager Discord, but I can't post there, hilariously enough. Because I don't have, apparently my phone number, I think my brother borrowed it at one point. So, yeah, Discord didn't like that. How much do you know about driver development with older drivers? I've had them decrease and then increase again. I would like to know why. Basically, the older a driver is, they'll start having a decrease in stats. But at the same time, if they perform well, the stats will go up. So it's basically, he's losing some stats due to getting older, but he's still good, so he's getting them back again, which is kind of funny. But yeah, let's get the car set up here for Silverstone. Hopefully we can get that done pretty quickly. There we go. Just need to find Silverstone in the list. So 6, 11.5. I'm just going to get this done quickly before I get lost in chatting again. And I think I'll try and get the race started, and then we can sit down with any questions you have. Because I'm planning to stream until the sprint starts today. And hopefully it will start. We'll have to see if it gets delayed or not. Wouldn't surprise me if it did. I'm also worried about the fact that we might need to save up some money here to buy extra engines. I know for sure that we are going to have to buy an extra ERS. That's just not something we're going to be able to get around. And we'll have to see what we do with the engine, because again, buying an extra engine could give us points here, but it's also going to gimp us in future seasons because we have 10 million that we could have invested somewhere else. So, you know, it's back and forth with that. Might be just the fact that he had back-to-back DNFs and then back-to-back race wins. Yeah, could be, but also it could just be that he is, you know, getting older. And it could also be kind of a bug, because I had a case of Tsunoda dropping his control rating from 70 something to 50. So, yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised there if it might also just be buggy, to be fair. I think with just sim here, the presets are pretty good. Italian time? I think that matches my time. Let me just check quickly. Yeah, that matches my time zone. Let me just quickly get the Belgium thing up so I can see. There we go. Yeah, so maybe 17:05 for me. So we got a good almost 3 hours there then. Really good. I want to play, but I don't want to go deep into one without the ability to switch teams yet. Callum, they've said that the team switching is going to be backwards compatible, meaning that any save game you do now, you will be able to do team switching on. So, to be fair though, they could of course bungle it up. Wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, they're going to try and do their best to make it compatible with older saves. And I figured out a little bit about confidence here. So the affinity, of course, has an effect on driver confidence, but it also has an effect on confidence gain and confidence loss. Lower affinity, you'll lose more confidence. Higher affinity, you'll gain more confidence, and at lower affinities, you also gain less. So early on, your PS3 is going to be suffering from that as well, and also his stat gains from having peak confidence are going to be lower than Norris because of the affinity as well. So that is a bit interesting.
Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
Found a great tip to ensure getting max track acclimatization for the first stints in P1 and P2. Apparently I have something interesting on the side that blocks you out a little bit. Still do plan to do practice manually to ensure I get the range of tires I want per track? Yeah, that's fair. But in our case, we don't really have a choice. It's going to be heavy raining. We're going to stick with the old engine because the last time when I gambled on a fresh one, we kind of got screwed over. I think this gearbox is good for one more race. Again, just going to try and maximize the usage of parts here, so we don't have to spend too much money on them. Gearboxes aren't too bad though, it's just $1 million. But we definitely don't want to spend any extra on an additional engine, if we can help it. Okay, let's see if we can hit the optimals here for good old Norris. That should be good enough, I think. Should boost him up at least by a couple of percentages. For you, if we can hit that one, and then that one, that should be okay. And also here, that should bring us closer to the rear wing, but we are gonna... It's just tweak things a little bit there. One more maybe, there we go. I think this is okay. It's not perfect by any means, but it's better than what we had. Hello Triceratops, or Dark, depending on what you prefer. I kind of forgot. Hello Dark. Have we figured out yet which tires are used when you sim all sessions? Is it random? Honestly, it feels random to me, but it could very much be track specific, because I haven't really been left in a situation yet where I really needed, like say, 2 sets of hards or 2 sets of mediums, because with the way that they rebalance tires, it's actually, you still have good strategies no matter which tires they end up using. You still have alternatives. But at the same time, if you really want to do a strategy, you are going to have to do things manually because it feels, again, very random. Get Norris and Piastri out on the runs here. It is going to be a dry at the end, so we'll send them in out now for one to build confidence. And honestly, the confidence guide that I posted, it works well. We could do it for this series to try and help us out, but it feels a bit too cheesy for my taste, so I'm going to do the qualifications normally, but we could very easily here peak confidence both Piastri and Norris to get a little bit of an extra stat boost. Do you still get the same amount of engines, ERS, gearboxes here? Yeah, 3 engines, 2 ERSs, 4 gearboxes. Don't know if you can change it with a sporting directive yet. We'll see.
Drive to the delta.
My driver seems to use different every time, but always 2 mediums, 1 hard, and then 3, 4 softs. I've had cases where they've left me with 3 mediums, so it feels very random.
I could recharge on.
I've also had cases where I just had 2 softs for quali, so they definitely do kind of whatever they feel like. At least mine do, which is probably why I feel like it's very random. Okay, the next couple of runs here are going to be in the dry, so let's just get the soft tires on. In this case, I actually gave 4 sets of soft tires, Callum, so you were correct on this one. The fact that they sent their boys out when it's going to be potentially dry very quickly, although, yeah, there we go. It's incredibly quickly drying. Now, we probably will only have time for 1 run here, so we'll have to see. They might actually not have time for their... Yeah, they will have time for runs. They didn't just leave. But this does give us an option now to just send out Norris right now and gamble, because they're all heading in. But they'll be sending out pretty quickly, so we'd have a ton of traffic. So I think we'll try and play it a bit safe here. Stroll's going, Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, if we can... Oh no, we got behind Bottas, that is bad. Can we... Yeah, I should have just waited a little bit longer there, because right now we are behind Bottas, which is technically the slowest, probably the second slowest driver on the grid. So Norris might be in trouble, we'll have to see. I should probably just have waited for everyone to send their cars out, because we did have plenty of times in this case. To be fair, I'm not going past Australia yet. Yeah, particularly later on, it feels very, very random.
So this is P5, which is a...
P5 for Norris so far, not bad. Piastri P10. Oh, are we in trouble now? Maybe. Nope, we're both into Q2. Very nice. Still don't know what team to start. The track map is really nice. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. You're already down an engine and an ERS at Jeddah. Oh yeah, Hulk just cost you 7.5 million on the cost cap, my man. Because on my test game, I had my drivers just drive carefully to try and avoid things like that. And even then, by the end of the race, I was running a red engine. Less than 20%. So you're definitely going to have to buy an engine for him, for sure. Sargent is super quick. I think it's just a William car being a bit quicker than the others. Honestly. We should probably go out here on the fresh softs, to be fair. Because it might be raining later in quali. Yeah, it's going to rain pretty much immediately. So let's send Norris out, try and get him ahead of the pack.
Okay, so that's a
send Piastri out. As long as they're ahead of the pack here, we should be good. Because everyone is going to come out now. And, well, if you end up behind the wrong guy, so you're going to be super slow. To be fair, going at the back probably would also be a good option here. So, yeah, I think it's fine though to just go out first. For sure. What do I recommend to upgrade out of the car parts? If you're talking about immediately, I recommend upgrading your underfloor and then your wings. Pretty much the same as I always do. Not too much has changed from 22 in terms of what you want to upgrade, but a lot of things have been balanced so they're closer. So I'd recommend focusing on your underfloor to begin with. That's unlucky for Piastri. Made the greatest lap of all time, sending Williams into Q3. That would be pretty amazing, yeah. But I do like now that they've fixed the AI during the wets. They will actually now immediately send all of their cars out, just to be safe. I just glitched the thing again. I don't get this glitch though. Let's see here. I'm not going to touch anything more. I'm going to see if the quality runs to its end, because it's still at 16x. Yeah, well, as I said, the paths are closer than in 22, but the upgrade path is virtually the same with some minor changes. You'll probably want to start focusing on, you know, your chassis, your Basically take your chassis, your side pods, and your suspension and get rid of the weight from them. The game froze. Yeah, I can see. So I've had this bug a couple of times where if I click these two too quickly after each other, they just kind of freeze out. So we're gonna have to restart. The game isn't froze for now though. It's it's bugged. The screen froze to some degree. I'm just gonna restart the game quick. Focus mostly on research on the underfloor. Honestly, the way I look at it is, after you've done a couple of iterations of underfloor, a couple of iterations of your front and rear wing, you might want to just have a look at what stats you get from focusing on each of them. Because right now, there aren't too much of a difference in terms of the time taken to make each part. So at any given point, you can just you can go ahead and just switch around, just check what is going to give me the most stats, what do I want to focus on. So it's much more, you're probably going to be switching a lot between things this year around. Sometimes even the chassis is going to be a good bet. So make sure that you check everything before you invest too heavily into something. I'm not done any research on this save already, I think. I am struggling so badly this year. In this year's game with McLaren, spent millions on upgrades. What have you been upgrading, Jules? But yeah, what you should research and what you should focus on might change. Now, we're going to be a bit cheesy here and just wait for everyone to go before we send Norris and Piastri out.
Okay, Oscar. So the track will go.
And honestly, you can probably do that anytime it is rainy. So that is everyone. We'll send out Norris. And okay, they fooled us. They pulled a quick one on us. Can I ask for a quick experiment in the future of how a driver performs at the race when they're at? Okay. We're not playing today, apparently. Game crashed. We could probably test something like that, but the problem is keeping them at peak confidence because they can lose it from really anything. Confidence is just too fluid of a system. But when I tested, peak confidence is basically potentially +8 on some stats. And well, it is going to help, but again, to keep the confidence at peak is going to be very, very difficult, honestly. I've attacked it the same as last year. Maybe the weight and durability of parts is what I'm doing wrong. Honestly, for durability, I've just pulled the slider all the way to the left. Like, the durability of the parts is a new feature, but you get so much performance by just saying that, no, I don't want anything that, you know, is durable. Throw it in the bin. And honestly, I've been doing okay with that. Of course, you're going to be spending a little bit more money on making parts, but at the same time, the performance gain is just going to be way worth it, in my opinion. Okay, there we go. That should be okay. We might also have screwed over Paris a little bit here, but that's fine. So I'd say just don't focus on durability. There's no point. Your drivers are going to destroy parts too, so it doesn't matter if what he destroys is glass or steel. It's still going to be destroyed even with a slight scratch. Yeah, so because you're also going to be upgrading parts, there's, let's face it, if I make something that is durable for 12 races, I'm probably going to make more even before that, so there's no need to really make anything durable in this game. It still is going to last more than enough time, I feel. Just started my McLaren Season 2? Damn. Been in Australia and Norris pushing, and he crashed with Bottas and everything. Ooh, that's painful. That's expensive. Am I actually seeing Perez struggling to keep up with Piastri? P1, come on. Yeah, that would be because no one has set a time. Okay, so Piastri had a bit of a worse run this time around. That's fine, though. Albon made it into Q3. Let's not touch these buttons. I don't want to crash. The grind is crazy. I'm at Imola. Yeah. The thing is, though, like, crashing in this game now is way more punishing because a broken engine is 5 million. That is a full intense design of anything. So, the risk management menu, the fact that everything's more expensive, really, you know, has had an effect on the game. Your strategies are going to change, things are going to be more interesting. I love that qualifying's more randomized than last year. It was 2 runs of everyone doing hard laps at the same time. Yeah, it's more chaos now, which honestly feels more, you know, it feels better. But at the same time, they need to be more efficient at getting slow cars out of the way, because they will completely ruin your lap time a lot. And I feel like that would be the next quality of life change, to either add penalties for doing slow laps, or just making sure that they're always out of the way. Just have them run basically 4 quali instead of 2 racing lines. 1 for slow laps and 1 for the quali run itself. Because they won't overtake in quali even if they're quicker behind anyways. Is it just me, but do drivers hardly improve in qualifying? I think that is probably due to the confidence, because it will reset every qualifying session and then it will go up higher. So when I try and run 3 qualifying sets, mainly because it will allow them to get that confidence a little bit higher, and the higher confidence will help out. So okay, we do want to do 1 run here and then another one later. Let's send Norris out.
Track should be green now.
So, to be fair though, qualifying, everyone is just full sending it. I have been trying to do some manual qualifying, but you just fly through the field, so I think it's just better to allow the AI to take control. We know that everyone is running the same way that way. But I've had my drivers improve from lap 1 to lap 3, even on this, not lap 1 to lap 3, the first run to the third run, even on the same tires, so it depends. That was a good first run from Norris, though. Very promising. We are going to put on a new set of inters. I think we're just going to use a fresh set here. I think that should be fine. Although, potentially here, an older set could work out very well too. And we are going to be running as close to the end as we can when the water is going to be lower. So I think we're going to have to send him out now, just so that he doesn't get completely eaten up by other fast lap runners that will slow him down. And actually the water is going slowly up again, so probably not the best. We're still 8th though, so as long as we improve a tad, we'll be good. Hello Willie, how you doing? But we will see what we can do. So no improvement, unfortunately. That is what it is though. To be fair though, starting 8th isn't too bad. I think we even beat one of the Mercs. Yeah, we did. Albon did too. So as I said, the top 4 teams are going to be hard to beat as a lower rated team this year. It's just how it is.
Teams are making their final preparation.
F1 manager has updated Singapore before F3. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Okay. So race itself is going to be rainy. What I don't like that they've changed now is you have to actually go into strategy to see the weather. But I do like that they've changed the weather system in game itself. Like, I am currently running, I think, 60%, 80%. I don't even know where to check it anymore. I'm not running a very reliable, let's put it like that, weather service. And I can trust this now, which is great because you couldn't do that earlier. Now, we won't need to go onto the wet or inters before here, so we'll probably go directly onto the wet around lap 15. Feel free to ask, Ninke. Just ask. Don't worry about it. Don't need to ask permission. I'm good. Seeing you make good progress. Yeah, we're making good progress here. Durability adds weight to the car, and weight is not good if you want to make a fast car. Yeah. Honestly, I'd say just not focus on weight for the time being. We are going to go on the softs here, though. That is a no-brainer. Just stick on the softs until we can get there. They're going to be quicker for a good 10 laps. We could go medium, but again, there's no need. It's going to start raining fairly soon. So we're going to slap Piastri on the softs. We're going to slap Norris on the softs. And I'm just going to do this so I don't get nagged about when we need to go into something else. And keep in mind that they've supercharged the AI this year around for the first 5 laps. They'll be super quick, but they'll be burning fuel, they'll be burning ERS, they'll be burning tires immensely. How can I make the AI take control again? That is a good question. I don't know. They usually take control after they've gone into the pits once. So, I don't know if there's a button to give back control, but after you send them in the pits, you give them a new run plan and send them out. The AI usually will take control. I don't know if you can manually do it, but there's probably a way, and I just don't know.
The British Grand Prix is nearly upon us. The drivers composing themselves on the grid.
Good thing about this is the softs are pretty useful now. They are. They're actually kind of reliable. Just a visual glitch, Sammy? Yeah.
The British Grand Prix.
Except for the crashes and the quality glitch,
And away we go.
things have been pretty good, honestly. So, AI being smart here, I feel like this needs to actually be addressed. The AI is actually being smart here. Everyone is on softs, and I'm feeling everyone is going to be pushing these softs to the limit to some degree. Piastri up to 11th. He's still fighting Magnussen, though, so he could lose out. Norris still fighting Albon. But we're going to be pushing fuel, I think, until we get to the wet period here.
Now.
Stroll with a little bit of a spin. Let's have a quick look. Luckily, he didn't take any of us out, and he did lose some pass there, potentially. It really did look a bit like a lawnmower there. That was beautiful. Okay, Skitty, hope you have a good day. I think I'm going to have a good stream. I'm already having fun with Stroll doing a little bit of a ballerina there. So we're going to tune down our tires a little bit because we want to keep them kind of alive. But at the same time, we might not want to. Track abrasiveness is high here, though. So, in terms of degradation, even if we run them full out... Oh, yeah, as you can see, if we run them full out, they won't survive. We need to keep them alive until lap 15. So, we kind of do need to run them standard. And we do need to try and not, as I said, burn them into the ground immediately. So, we'll try and keep them temperature. We'll try and run standard. The others will gain a bit of a gap to us as a result. But we will keep burning fuel because we'll regain that during the wet period easily. He did 810. I think the top-up ERS setting is actually pretty neat. Thank you also for reminding me to go back to neutral. I do tend to forget that. Top-up is nice. It allows you to more easily follow a faster car in front without completely losing all of your... without completely losing out. So it's a pretty nice setting to have. Like, it's situationally useful, and it's way better than what we've had so far. How is Tire Deg? Last year they updated it and it was massive. Tire Deg here is pretty bad. This is if we were to run a full attack, but even if we go here and have a look, if we run full attack, we're basically barely going to live through lap 12. If we go aggressive, we'll make it to lap 15, just barely, and it's actually what we're currently tracked for. And running standard will make us get what we need to be, because we don't need to pit until lap 13, 14 by the looks of this. So tire dag on this track is can be intense, but I think we're good. McLaren looks like a real fun save to do this year. Started with Mercedes, but want to go get a McLaren one going once I figure things out. To be fair, that's what I did last year. I started with one of the top 3 teams just to figure out what was the best way forwards. This year, though, it's kind of a little bit more open. It might actually be better to focus your car. Once you focus a little bit on your car, it might be better to focus facilities. I still don't know what is the best way of doing things. We'll have to figure that out as we go. Right now, though, we're looking good. We're kind of holding Hamilton at bay. Albon is, getting gaps. There's gaps everywhere now, which is good. Not just one big DRS train. So I was going to test this when you do, for example, drag reduction chassis. Yeah, I had a look at that too. Drag reduction chassis are insane for just pure top speed, which is kind of hilarious. Depends on track, but normally tire deg is less than last year. Yeah, I think they've rebalanced tires in a way that makes them all a little bit closer to each other, but it also makes a bit more sense now with the aggressiveness. For instance, Norris here, I think we can actually run aggressive now and still keep within tire temps. We'll have to see. Piastri has lost a little bit of his confidence. Norris is still looking good. We're actually going to put him on high overtake aggression so he can get by Albon once he catches up. Yeah, I'll have a look at the chassis a little bit later, Willie, but that is also something that I didn't notice. But I haven't explored it yet, so if it actually works, great, let me know. Yeah, aggressive was just enough, something you didn't do last year.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Alonso follows it bloody.
Things
But
look
yeah,
fine
aggressive
here.
attack, it wasn't something you did last year unless you were going to pit,
There it goes.
honestly. This year is far more lenient with that, going aggressive, going attack. You can actually gain a bunch of time over this stint. Particularly at Jeddah,
Is expected.
you can go full attack. Well, not full attack. You can go aggressive for the entire stint and be quicker than if you ran standard. And something like that just wasn't possible last year. I think we'll go balance down the fuel, just to be safe. And I think it should be fine to run aggressive. We could probably go a little bit more closer to attack. But we are going to be running a couple laps with the rain on track here, as you can see, up until at least lap 14, maybe even longer. So we're gonna stay out on a bit of a rainy track here. Double points in Jeddah with Haas, congrats. Or did it eat more engines? Yeah. 2 stops is still beneficial, but I do like the fact that you now have different strategies that you can use. And you can actually have a look now at a few more interesting things. Like
So
this
is
thing.
the rain that we
We have
expected,
track
which should
condition
be steady
currently,
and light
and
at
it's
this level.
upgrading between, you know, laps there. Currently we have normal grip, very low. This is a more of an interesting one. But you can actually check things like how much fuel does the AI have in the car, and you can actually see if they're pushing, if they're going a bit slower. So the Ferrari is using about 2.1, 2.2 kilograms a lap. Same for Verstappen, uses about the same. He has a broken gearbox though, so again, AI is once again running parts to the ground. Honestly, I think the parts degradation is a tad too high. You should be able to make a season without any crashes, without having to buy extra parts, but that just isn't possible. Unfortunately. Got P8 with Albon, very nice. Don't like Jeddah. You know which strat to pick or you don't know? The long stint to lap 35 was actually going quicker still. That's impressive. Stroll is winning for you, damn. Let's see, when do we actually want to jump in? Probably around lap 15, yeah. So with that in mind, we could actually start pushing a little bit on these tires, go a little bit aggressive. Try and get something more done. Norris is up into 6th. Nice to see. Behind Russell. So again, the AI will push the tires very aggressively early stint. And then later into that first stint, you can kind of come back and take advantage. So that is... they'll do that in every race, which I think is just the way the game's telling us, look, we changed AI, they're more aggressive now. Challenge accomplished. Tried your recent confidence trick and it worked super well. Yeah. Again, I find confidence to be a little bit silly, a little bit too fluent right now. We are going to be pitting after this lap, I think. It's going to start super raining pretty soon. But we might wait, I'll do one more lap after this. Hulkenberg is pitting, Sargent pitting, Stroll's pitting. Are they going on inters? They are. Okay, that is curious because we are expecting it to super rain very shortly. I think we are going to do one more lap on these tires, kind of like Leclerc's doing. And that's going to bring Piastri very close to the brink, but I think that's going to be worth it just for... just so we don't do that interstop. Currently, lap times are looking 35, 5 or 6 seconds slower than earlier. But it is going to be wet for a little while there, for sure. So we are going to be pitting. We're going to get Norris in. We're going to go for the wets. We could be wrong, honestly. But it is a gamble that we are willing to take. Well, that I am willing to take, for sure. Could also split strategies here to just be safe, but right now it is supposed to be heavy rain. For the next 10 minutes at least, so this should be complete wet. This is 1 millimeter. This is at least 4. So we're getting in a little bit earlier, but I think it would be worth it just to get it done. We are double stacking, but the cars should be way between each other. We should be fine. Norris with 2.1 stop time. And there we go. Piastri with a 2.1 as well. So for now, we're going to tune it down to standard. Because, again, I don't want to completely burn these... I do hate that you have to allow time to pass now. You can't just press space and weight. We might be burning these tires a little bit too much because we went on them a little bit early, like that. So we're going to conserve here, just try and keep them alive until it becomes proper wet. Tires are overheating. Norris is still 6th though. Russell did get a jump on him. Piastri kind of stayed where he was. And everyone has gone on the west, but they did a lap later than we did, so probably a little bit off here. Sainz has completely burned his tires. He's down to 66% already, so we might have jumped on them just a tad too soon here, unfortunately. But now they should start working again pretty soon here. It didn't go completely wet by the looks of things. Inters would still probably be the better choice. Hulkenberg here might be quicker than us currently. Let's have a quick look. Stroll is pitting. What was Stroll on? I saw Stroll was on Inters, was he not? Stroll went onto the wets. That's the Hulkenberg, 47. He's running about the same as Piastri, half a second quicker. I think we're still fine. The thing is, the wet tires, particularly if they are running in non-wet conditions, will completely deteriorate super quick. So it does limit what you can do. Usually you could just jump on the wets and still be fine for the most part, but can't really do that no more. Best strat to pick in Jeddah? It'll depend on who you ask, but I'm a big fan of starting on the mediums and then doing 2 aggressive soft stints. Just do an aggressive medium stint, then 2 aggressive soft stints. It could be a bit challenging depending on your brake cooling, because if you have low brake cooling, the tires might get too hot still. But usually that has worked out pretty well for me. Okay, Norris is losing out to Russell, now 10 seconds behind. So we might actually just go full attack on these tires, and they should still be within temperature. It's not too long here until we'll start pitting again. Yeah, I think I just got on the wets a bit too early here, unfortunately. We probably should have just stayed out one more lap. It would have cost us lap time, but we'd have way better wet state to work with, even though we are getting a little bit hot right now. I think we'll just go full attack here because it is gonna go down pretty quick now. As you can see, there's no reason not to. Once we get close to that 4mm, we are going to be jumping onto Inters for sure. And right now we are catching up to Russell. Last lap we were running almost a second quicker. Piastri is not having as good of a lap time as Norris, unfortunately, but we are catching up. Yeah, I'd say you can do a 2-stop, yeah. Smoothness is actually a pretty important stat this year with how the tire degradation works, so yeah, I'd say smoothness is viable for sure. Haven't really tested out how much it has to say in terms of the tire wear, but it has allowed Norris to push when Piastri hasn't been able to, so it definitely is potentially very viable. But yeah, I'd say a 2-stop is viable in Jeddah. It's what 1-stop is probably what most teams are going to do, but the 2-stopper is definitely viable. We're going to stay out for one more lap here, I think. Just kind of copy what the AI does to some degree. Might get Piastri in a little bit earlier here, just to experiment with. Let's put him in on the new Inters. And we'll see if the rest of them actually do respond to us or not. But we are going to get Norris in too. Inters should still be pretty quick. And we can, of course, push them quite aggressively. What do I think of sprint winkers? They're interesting, but I tend to forget they're sprint winkers, so I sim that first practice and end up with a 60 setup, which isn't working too well. I should have pushed fuel a bit earlier too. But they're definitely interesting. They do add a new element to the game. Not too bad. Norris is going to have a little bit of free air here, but he's still going to be kind of struggling a little bit, I think. Got these up to temperature, turn it down to standard. Don't really want to burn them out immediately. If possible, we might need to keep them alive till the end. And that looks very, very possible that we will have to do. So, might need to go a little bit light here for Piastri while we're pushing the fuel. Everyone is now pitting. Can Norris jump anyone? Well, we have caught up to Russell, basically. And ahead of us, there's still 4-5 people that need to pit. So we're definitely going to jump Albon. So strategy-wise, we've done a good one here, I think. So Ocon and Gasly are still out and running on the wet tires here. They're 2 seconds slower than us. So they're kind of shooting themselves in the leg, helping out Piastri a little bit here. Good. Well, that happened to me in Baku, yeah. I was confused why quality was happening. I was just, yeah, I did that too, simulated practice and just like, wait, did I do 3? So it does, you know, sneak up on you. We're gonna go aggressive here for Norris. We're gonna deploy, need a little bit of help maybe to just get by. I don't know if driving in clean air here might actually be the order that we need to give. That would be kind of sad. Let's see here. Let's tell him to drive in clean air, see if he immediately gets by. Oh yeah, it did. So if someone is on a slower tire, you might still need to tell them to drive in clean air to be safe. Which is unfortunate, to put it mildly. We're probably going to be switching between running aggressively and running standard, because running aggressively is going to bring us very close to the heat very quickly. And I think for Norris in particular, running aggressively is viable. Yeah, as you can see, running aggressively for Norris is viable. This is the standard, like his current trajectory. Running aggressively is viable in terms of he's going to be about 7 seconds quicker if he runs the entire stint in aggressive, but of course we need to manage the tempo while doing so. So we'll be switching back and forth a little bit here, but definitely possibilities. You are not prepared, yeah. Come on, Oscar, get in there, mate. We are close, but I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. I did leave Norris burning his ERS, though. That's a yikes moment. But this is a good one to stop upon, because again, loses less lap time and can still regain the ERS that he lost. So we'll try and get him up to about 30%, I think. We are burning the tires now, turn them back to standard. Keep in mind that if you run fuel like this, you are actually going to end up losing... You're actually going to end up heating up your tires because you are coasting less. And as a result, you're braking more. And braking more aggressively, which leads to, of course, lots of more temperature into your tires, which is good. Red flag if you pitted both drivers, that is sad. That is unfortunate for sure. Car knowledge is super slow. Oh yeah, when they learn new parts, it does go up quite a lot slower, yes, than previous. Honestly, though, that is probably a good thing. How would I compare this game to 22? It's a lot more complex. It's a lot more balanced. Like, I haven't found a single way that I can make a bottom team into a top 4 team. We can temporarily make it a top 4 team. But I've not found a reliable way to challenge the top 4 with one of the bottom 6 teams within the first season so far. It's a lot more complex, way more balanced. You have tire temperatures, which you need to keep an eye on. Which honestly, you can honestly just set them and go. That's fine too. But generally, there is more complexity to the race sim itself. Drivers are still kind of no personality, unfortunately. But they rebalanced a lot of things. Cost cap is now actually a thing you need to keep, keep your eye on. Money is now more scarce, harder to come by. So it's a more, let me put it this way. They took 22 and they polished it. They added some more mechanics, some complexity, rebalanced a bunch of stuff, and made that 23 with race replays as a way to, try and what's the word called? Try to make I need help. Trying to make themselves look good for the casual player, look more interest for a more casual player base. That is basically what race replays are. They're a way to keep themselves relevant and also a way to appeal, that's the one, to a more casual audience. So again, the pit crew changes are great. It makes it a lot easier. Again, driver confidence and pit crew changes are both great, but they feel a bit rushed. Particularly driver confidence here is it fluctuates a lot. Like if you get overtaken under DRS, the man's confidence might even hit red. So with that in mind, confidence is a little bit too flexible for me. But a lot of changes are really, really good, honestly. Yeah, anti-Sunday drivers, indeed. Yeah, race replays are a good way for them to sustain activity in the game. Every race weekend, someone will be making, you know, a race replay video. I'm probably going to get going on those at some point, but I should probably start making them a daily thing, because they can be done quick too. I think this is what F123 should start as for base, yeah. Honestly, they've made a lot of good changes though. I won't say that they haven't, because they have. And the game is definitely an upgrade compared to last year's game. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Just 8 laps to go. We do have Norris in attack distance. Might even get the attack going here now, but I guess Show did slow him down a little bit. Piastri is going to have a hard time here catching up to Albon. It's 6 seconds, but he is running a good 6 tenths quicker. So if he had a few more laps, he might have been able to pull something off. Right now he can't though. He has been keeping Alonso at bay for most of this race, which is amazing. Norris pulls to move on Russell. Can he keep him there?
Let's see what happened there. Now this was at turn 1.
Ferrari second quickest?
there.
No, Aston is second quickest. Just purely in terms of the car.
Fernando says, well, thank you very much.
What's the best way to upgrade in this game, or same as last year's? Honestly, I'd say the thing that you want to do first is take every car part, and you want to go ahead and make a version of that part that has no durability, basically. Norris Trophy hits his confidence. Yeah, you'd want to make a version of every part that has no durability. You'd want to focus your CFD and mile hours into wind tunnel hours basically into your underfloor, and then probably your wings. Your rear wing has a new stat that is DRS efficiency, which you'd probably want to invest a little bit in. The ERS battle assist, honestly, I feel like it's nice. I feel like people have been saying that it doesn't work, it's not effective. But I've had times where I've had my driver stuck behind a different one for like 3 or 4 laps. Then I've checked and, oh, I've forgotten to toggle on the battle assist thing. And then he immediately gets an overtake done within half a lap. So I think it's useful, but I think the driver only uses it in specific circumstances that are very few and rare between. And as a result, people just like, it doesn't work. I think it actually does the job of overtake for you when the driver can, but they'll still just recharge, you know, automatically between laps, and I think they do that naturally now. Piastri is within attack distance here now, so we're just gonna full send it. We have 3 laps to get this done for Piastri. Norris is kind of safe there, just tune him down so he doesn't run out of fuel. Tires are moderately overheating, that is okay. We've actually gotten overtaken by Alonso, I didn't notice that. That is unfortunate for him. But we could get within attack distance here too. Keep it aggressive a little bit. Might need to actually cool the tires a bit. I might have started attack too soon. I thought he was still in 11th. That is my bad. Yeah, we started a bit too soon. I'm gonna have to try and cool it. He's gonna start losing lap time purely due to that. He's still running slightly quicker, but it's still just too far behind. Unfortunately. The new ERS menu, there isn't too much about the ERS menu. It's deploying neutral, top up and harvest, so they've removed overtake. Probably bundle it into the battle assist here. But it shows you a little bit more how much you've deployed this lap, I believe. How much you've harvested. Basically this gets put into the battery once you cross the finish line. And well, deploy tells you what you can expect from the different modes. Did you figure out the difference in fuel weight? I have not yet. I don't know why that happened. You can see them make a race mode for Piastri P2. Yeah. You starting as P2 in the sprint. Can you get Piastri's first win? Yeah. Unfortunately, Piastri did kind of sell him short there. He just doesn't have what it takes to keep up with Alonso and Albon in this case, but we tried. We gave it a good fight, I feel. Norris, though, if he can, he's going to be able to get 5th. That is huge for us, let's be honest. We're beating 2 teams with that.
Our track conditions. Same speed for
Might keep it standard so it doesn't get caught up by anyone else to the end there. Well, we can just keep it on attack.
Charles Leclerc is
Ferrari
today's
wins.
winner.
The Red Bull's 2-3. Sainz is going to come in 4th here. Then we have Norris. But yeah, the fact that both of the assets spun and couldn't make up room definitely helps out here.
That's the checkered flag. Well done.
And it also helped Alpine a little bit here, up on 9th, but we'll definitely take 5th.
I think you did something good with the strategy. You cheers, man.
Seems like Leclerc could finally get a podium. He's in 3rd with only 3 laps to go. Sprints are indeed in the CS game, Max. There's 6 of them.
Remarkable drive by Lando
I should probably have done
Norris
deploy, yeah. I forgot about that. My apologies. I should have deployed on Piastri for sure. But he did fall back quite a bit. But this is a very good result for us. We get an additional 10 points. Drive Championship then, we have Norris move up to 8th. Well, he stays in 8th, sorry. He didn't move up anywhere. But he is switched between the Merc drivers. And with Constructors then, we're now up into 5th. So that is very nice. How can you change the driver's aggression? Once we get into the next race, I'll show you. There's a whole menu for that. Okay, so we had some good results here with the pit crew challenge. We are 1st and 2nd. Love to see that. We are leading the championship now for that award itself. And as you can see, there's very minor differences in speed here. The slowest was 0.033 slower than the quickest. We have the quickest one. So they give you an average, and they are very close to that. Ferrari strategy, yeah, I did put a little bit of Ferrari strategy there for Piastri, unfortunately. Did make a bit of money here. We're paying a bit of a bonus to Norris, which is fine. But we did complete some performance targets, performance guarantees. So that money is going to be very nice. Yeah, but to be fair, they did say, wonder that the stats are from the start of the season. Piastri kind of was untested in that one by then. But again, I would really like it if we could just pick a race moment and extract the driver stats from that. That would be great. Okay, Meki's scouting is complete. Man's got good aptitude, leadership. Again, I would value the processes over the training. Probably aptitude is the most important stat for a sporting director, honestly. So we're probably going to be scouting the other ones too and see what they can do weekly. Meadows is actually interested. So we'll be scouting them, see what we can get there. Regulation mode for sporting changes? Yes, please. Please. I want this. I want this. If I regret upgrading my factory in the design center, what facilities would I upgrade if I could go back? Okay. Just give me a second, we'll have a look. The facilities that I would like to upgrade. Let's face it, the factory, I kind of regret that, but it's probably going to come in handy in the future. The science center, let's face it, all of these things are nice to have, but I think I'd rather probably upgrade the car part test center. It gives drag reduction, DRS delta for the rear wing, brake cooling and engine cooling seems to be way more important in this game, honestly. And also the downforce for both underfloor rear wing and front wing is going to be good. So this one is a nice one to upgrade. So CFD and wind tunnel centers are good as well. The science centers here, again, it seems to be extra engineers would be nice. It'll make sure that you can always keep your projects going quickly. So I'll probably switch the factory to one of the other ones, or even yet, what I would probably prefer to upgrade first is Team Hub and the Race Sim. Getting these up and going is probably going to be a lot better in terms of long time management. We are of course going to vote for the proposed change to get the gearbox and ERS limits upgraded. That would be nice. You're amazed how bad Merc's doing? Could be. New world record in this say with pit stops. Yeah, I agree, it's the best rate change. Appointing Mekis would give a slow pit stop modifier, yeah. Hauge wins the race, Duan and Boshung on the podium. Saucy wins, that is beautiful. Frederick and Fonaoli for the other one. So I believe we have some car parts here that failed, so... Car 1. I assume what happened here towards the end that I didn't actually realize is that Piastri damaged his underfloor. That's why it says destroyed. Our suspension failed as well. And we'll accept this F1 schools. It's basically, as you can see here, help attract the next generation of engineering talent. So I assume potentially it gives more new gens for engineers, race engineers, that sort of thing. Are you going to make a guide about facility upgrades? I'm probably going to make a guide on every aspect, but as I said, I do want to run some tests and figure out just how well, you know, what the maximum level actually gives us, things like that before I make guides. Hippity hoppity, are you coming for my property? Tried the game Silverstone with McLaren, and gameplay-wise wasn't impressed. What do I think overall? I think it's it has its bugs, it has its weird moment right now, but it's a proper upgrade from 22. It adds more complexity, it's added more systems, and the AI generally does seem like they're trying to fight you, so I feel like it is a decent upgrade here. We're going to gamble on Norris getting 8th or better. And both cars in Q2, Norris in Q3. So, I am enjoying the game a lot right now, I'll be honest. I am enjoying the game, but I can understand those who have the viewpoint that the last game CF was lacking. This one is probably going to do the same. We have insufficient parts, so we're going to give you a better one. Should probably check this a bit earlier what we had. Underfloor has been destroyed, give you a new one. We are going to have to probably start manufacturing again. I need to figure out what we're lacking. And we're also going to get underfloor and suspension soon. Okay, so we're not going to make suspension. We're going to gamble on it surviving until then. Underfloor, we are making new ones. We're going to gamble on that one also being good enough. Sidepods, we are doing that. Rear wing. We should install that in car 1 as well. Also manufacture 2 more. Front wings. Once we get capacity, we're going to manufacture at least 1 more of those. And the same for chassis. Although we might already be doing that. We're doing the chassis, we're doing rear pod, we're doing rear wing, and then we'll do side pods. So we'll get that capacity in a day. Which is nice. I'm glad you're enjoying Alberto. My upgrades are now your property, damn. Are you here? Are you here for my upgrades? Yeah, I understand, Feda. It is... honestly, that's one of my issues with it too. It is a huge... It's an upgrade from 22, but it's extremely costly, honestly. As Williams, I find it easy to just focus on one car, especially with the cost of parts. Honestly, that isn't too surprising. Push also onto F3 and F2. I guess he did. But yeah, we are going to be heading forwards here. We get the side pods, and with that, we can go ahead now and manufacture that extra front wing. But yeah, we'll have to see what we do going forwards here. Money is going to be tight, for sure. Suspension simulator concerns. Okay, so as we had an event earlier where they were worried about the suspension sim. We had to shut it down for 10 days, pay a little bit of money, but apparently, yeah, it was unnecessary. But I think it's better to be safe than sorry, honestly. Front wing manufacturing complete. Suspension isn't low. Again, we're making these parts, so if they break, we'll just put them on an older version, honestly. And I think we can live with that. Let's see, do we get more pieces? You... Red Bull. I don't get why Haas and Alpine, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, why these teams voted against. I don't get it. Like, this would help, this would help every team a lot. So, that sucks, but we won't be same scumming it, unfortunately. That's bad. I really would have liked that change. Ron Meadows has been scouted, 97 training. Man's good, 92 aptitude, 93 processes. Again, would like to have it different place, but we can have a look at other squadron directors. We have a pretty good one. I'm not saying that, but it's interesting to have a look at their stats. Okay, race week in 1 day with the design complete, new suspension, which means, of course, that we're going to start manufacturing it. It's going to be a minor upgrade in terms of race stance, but it's going to be a huge one in terms of brake cooling. And I think that is going to... No, we don't want to emergency manufacture. There's no point in emergency manufacturing. It's just extra money. Like, we'll sacrifice performance within a race or two just to make sure that we don't emergency manufacture, because that gets very expensive very quick. We do want to design a new piece, though. And underfloor would be a good choice. see what we can get. So with the front wing here, we won't really get much. We could, of course, focus on a particular aspect. So we could make a front wing for brake cooling that we aren't going to use, that just exists for brake cooling. But generally, what you see, you're going to have to probably focus 2 stats for the most part to get the most out of things like this. So I think the new, all the way to the right, is focus 2 stats on a piece that you aren't going to use to boost the next one. Honestly, that might actually be the play here. Because as you can see, we're getting a 10% increase in both dirty air tolerance, which of course is going to help us in the future, and brake cooling. We could also do some research for next season. That is not a big. That's not a bad idea. How to slide the balance? I think they're balanced, but what I'm getting the impression of when I look at this, everything medium, is that this is probably what 22 would look like with all the sliders to the right. So I think they took kind of that as their baseline, and decided that base should be everything to the right, and work from there. So we'll see. I think they're way more balanced than 22 though, for sure. Way better. But you are right, we could do some research here. Currently though, the minor technical changes for front and rear wing as well as suspension. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to invest in them, but at the same time, I kind of want to wait with research a little bit until we are done making parts. So if we're going to do research, we basically need to wait until we're completely done with the part before we do that. Yeah. Because again, we're losing a percentage of the stats. So I might wait with research until we've made, say, maybe an iteration more of the front wing, iteration more of the rear wing. Or we could do like what was suggested earlier, the chassis. Because apparently the chassis here in particular, if we say focus 1 stat, it's going to lose us a shit of tolerance. But we could throw a couple of things out the window, say do something like this, and it would give us a lot of a boost here, but the cooling would hurt a lot more. So we could also do the potential opposite here, that we focus on, say, cooling and top speed. Again, this wouldn't be a piece that we would use. It would be a piece purely existing for the sake of improving our expertise, which is basically the hidden stat, which allows for gains, so to speak. I believe expertise kind of works the same as it does in 23. Taking into account the wear of the facilities, initially I thought about doing the upgrades towards the end of the year and alternative facilities update at the beginning of next year. That's not a bad idea, honestly. It allows you to kind of save on, like, if you're going to the car development facilities here. If you wait with doing your upgrade until you need to refurbish, you save yourself a little bit of money, for sure. So it's not a bad idea, unless you want them at a particular time. So it's not a terrible idea, let's be honest. But I think we are going to design some new parts here, but I'm a little bit unsure what, so I'm just going to have a quick look at what we can get. Now, I am tempted to do a bit of a focus on engine cooling. Again, mainly for next year. Because getting that engine cooling up would be nice. So what we might actually do here is kind of say that we're happy with this year's car, as long as we can retain 5th. If we can get 5th, let's say that we are happy this year with 5th. So we'll start focusing on some of the research that will affect next year's car, but won't be won't have an effect on these things. We could do that. For instance, for the side pods here, what we could do is do a research project that is just like this, which will be a boost all around. It'll be less of a boost in terms of the engine cooling aspect. But that is basically what research is. It's a bit slower, but it still costs the same. So if we did that right now, as you can see, it's a boost all around. But if we switch it to design, you can have a way bigger boost. 17%. And the reason for that is basically to balance. I think they balance research versus design in a manner that allows for research to be slower, but more reliable, because it's always an upgrade. So I think they've rebalanced design versus research gains So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how that works out. But we could also start, as you guys said, doing some research into brake cooling or, you know, something else. We did just make a new suspension too, so we could do something with that. Let's say that we focus another suspension into just drag reduction and brake cooling. So we bring it up by 16%. We gain a lot of speed as well, as you can see. So there's a lot of options there, and that is what kind of leaves me in a bit of a middle ground. I'm a little bit unsure what is the best way to progress forwards, if that makes sense, which leaves me kind of stumped, but we'll figure out something. So for now, I think we'll do probably one more iteration front wing, one more iteration rear wing. I don't know what we're going to do with underfloor. We are currently in, let's just double check the calendar here before I'm being silly, July. So we have 5 more months of racing before we end up with December. So we'll have a few more ATR times here. We have one in July that we're currently in. We'll have one in September, and we'll have a final one, I believe, in November. So yeah, we'll have a couple more. But I am, as I said, a little bit unsure what to do next here. Decided that we do 3 research projects, say focused on cooling. And as you can see, they will give you a benefit. You're not allowed to go into the negatives for these things. But I'm wondering if research is based on the part currently on your car. Because as you know, we currently have a project. Okay. Let's try and keep this in mind. Currently, we have a different suspension in manufacturing. Or is this actually just... It says car 1. But I think it's based on just purely your expertise. Yeah. What I'm curious about, because again, it says it's comparing it to car 1. So, if research is based on the part that you currently have on the car, we can do some really fun shenanigans. Because, as you know, we are making a new suspension. This suspension, though, is... am I manufacturing the wrong one? No, it should be an upgrade, as you can see here. So we'll see. I think we'll do some research for some of the other things, but that is funny if research is straight up based on the part of your car. That would be hilarious. Let's get a chassis research going then, I think. Just so we fill up our slots here. Get a little bit of engine cooling, drag reduction. Wait a second. Okay, so everything in the middle now. You can do all right on research apparently and still have an effect. I'm wondering if that affects, you know, the finish day. Let's check. Because as you can see, 1.8 to 1.9. Those numbers are higher. So when you do research, just slap everything to the right and you'll get better stats. And it'll still take 30 days. We found our first exploit, boys. Okay, yeah, we learned something new here. Now, the stats over here don't really change, so I don't know if it actually is, you know, reflected properly. Wouldn't surprise me if the numbers are wrong. Reset does look like it's linked to your current highest parts expertise, yeah. But the thing is, we haven't actually manufactured the suspension yet, so I'm curious if we do manufacture it, if it's gonna... you know, if it's gonna change the stats. So, like, it doesn't change over here, which is interesting, but I assume this is the expertise game, potentially. So, I'm confused. I'm honestly a little bit stumped, but I think we're just gonna do a little bit of a small research project here. Not gonna be big or anything. As you can see, the more engineers we put in the research project, the less stats we get. So, let's just do one engineer on this. Change it a bit about. Change it a bit around. We could also, I think honestly the best thing to do in that regard, if it actually is linked to, you know, your piece, for research is probably not worth it then, honestly. Because let's say we make a new chassis here now. We can just pop this to the bottom to begin with. And we can maximize, say that we want to maximize those two. Or even just one of them. Throw engine cooling in the garbage for this one. And this would be a pretty good boost for the car. It would actually boost our high speed gains by a lot. I thought Resus was linked to the base version of the car. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I think we're going to find out, honestly. Because this is looking a little bit more interesting now. Let's say that we focus on 2 stats here now for this one. And we're going to do a design project. It's going to cost us a little bit of money, but I think chassis is the cheapest one to make. Sorry that I've completely gone off on a tangent here, rather than playing the game. But yeah, chassis is the cheapest one to make. Let's have a quick look at the design again. It gives about 2% across the board. 48, 43, 45 is what we're currently at. Let's try and make one that is focused on engine cooling and drag reduction. And then we'll see where we're at in terms of the gains. Because this is going to be quite interesting, potentially. So, the new one, it's going to have quite a boosted engine cooling, 55 attribute total. Expertise and fatalities is just 2.51%, so they've done something here that is a bit interesting. If expertise, if this is reliable, then facilities is going to be a whole more. But I would assume that they've either misplaced a comma, or they've done something weird here with how expertise works in this one. So we're going to make this chassis. We are going to put it into intense. And I'm going to use 4 engineers on it so we get it quicker, so that I can just see how this works. Hopefully I'll get it done before the sprint race begins. Again, it is a bit of a waste of money, but I feel like it's something that we should test, just for science. So we'll do it on stream. Let's jump to the Hungarian Grand Prix and actually get back to a little bit of racing here. But that is an interesting one, for sure, if it actually works that way.
Three Springs Valley, here in Hungary.
All right. Let's get the car set up for Hungary. Because they might have actually made a bit, research into a bit of an interesting one then. Now I have something to test later, which will probably be in the AlphaTauri video. Will be out a little bit later than planned, but that's okay. It's a worthy course, I think. 10, 15, what was the others? 28, 95, 45? I think. I hope. There we go, ready for practice. Is this a sprint weekend? No, it isn't. It is one of those new quali weekends, though, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I'm wondering how that's gonna, work out. Because if the expertise is actually that low, the 1 or 2% gains you gain from facilities is actually massive enough that I would completely throw away probably a couple of years development just to maximize the facilities. Because I haven't really looked into facilities yet, but if they really, have that much of an effect, that's gonna be massive. Okay, we should have the new qualifying format here, I think. The one with hard, medium, soft. Hard for Q3, medium for Q2, and soft for Q3. That should make things a little bit interesting.
We'll practice.
Okay, let's put on the better car parts. Again, we're going to run kind of a damaged machinery here, but we're going to try and run them as, close to the ground, as hard as we can here before they start breaking. We're going to try and avoid running yellow machinery, but anything above that is fair game. Okay, let's have a quick look here. Should tag that. That's the one like so. Like so. It'll still be good to set up, so I'm not too concerned. I need to tag you like so. And then we do like that. That should be fine. Okay, let's start qualifying. So yeah, hard tires for this quali. So we want to try and get 3 runs into Q1 here because of the way their confidence works. They are going to get confidence up every run anyways. So if we have a quick look here at Norris and Piastri, Norris should be getting some confidence runs here. Hopefully no one else comes out the pit lane that will block Piastri. Hulk, please, thank you. Let's see how Sargent does, if he's going to be in the way. Kind of, but I think we were good. So, Norris has already reached peak confidence.
Cool.
And enjoys a +7 to every stat.
Remember, the delta needs to be negative at the end of the lap.
You're basically DNS.
Look after the fuel on the way in.
That sounds bad. Piastri's confidence is very high. So yeah, Norris is looking good then. We'll do another run. Get him a bit of a better stat-wise. But again, we are very close to Leclerc. So I think we're fine. We're going to have to do 2 more runs here on these hards. So it's still good though, I would think. Wait a little bit longer before we send him out here. This might be a good window. Of course, I don't know who that is. Bottas also as well. Norris did get the overtake done though, so that is good. We'll be running ahead of Bottas. Perez kind of in the way. I think we're still good though.
Okay, mate. This is currently P5.
Piastri's gonna have no improvement, I think. Still enjoys peak though. Nienke, if you're still here, I'll have you show you where you can find the tactics menu, just to be quick. But we'll see the tactics menu itself once we get into the race. So I guess it's no biggie. Okay. We are getting closer to our last run. I think we're currently safe. Like, Piastri's safe by about 9/10. So I don't think anyone is gonna, you know, outdo that. But we could, of course, do a run here just to be safe. Probably not the best windows that we signed them out in here, but they should be good. Yeah. If you basically want to click here and then go to their face, so to speak. And above here, you'll have like the race options, but you can set their regression levels there. Norris improves to 4th. That's nice. Piastri improves to 9th. That's definitely acceptable. I'd say they are outperforming the car, probably both of them. But yeah, I'll show you Nick once we get in the race, the entire menu. Don't have access to it during quali. Second run here, going to be on the mediums. And once again, we're going to try and get 3 runs in, just as the confidence booster. And honestly, I've had a couple of people that have said that, oh, I'm struggling with quali in the comments. And not doing 3 runs might actually be the reason why you're struggling, because I believe the confidence system applies to other teams as well. So if you don't do your 3 runs, the other team's drivers are actually going to have a bigger boost than you. If you just do that first run and then wait for, you know, quali to end, so to speak.
Drive to the delta.
Yeah, click driver, click on the face, and then you get the tactics interface. The fact that we're slow in the Hulkenberg is a concern, honestly. Let's redo it. Honestly, with mediums here, doing 3 runs might be a little bit risky, but I think it's worth it if we can boost his driver confidence a little bit more. So if we're going to do 3 runs, we're going to have to go out right now, for sure. Can't start the race. That sounds really frustrating, Poconel, though. That sounds like a bug.
You are currently
So yeah,
P6.
Norris improved. Piastri did not really improve, unfortunately, but we'll have 1 more run. Hopefully we can get him into Q2. Sorry, not Q2, Q3. And I think it's doable if we get a good run here. Sainz, Sargent, Alonso is heading out. Russell, Hamilton, Gasly. I think we can try and send Norris out. Try and send Piastri out. And he got a little bit of room for himself now, hopefully. They both should have unmolested runs, which is nice.
Okay, that is the checkered flag.
See if Piastri actually improves in any way, shape, or form. He has had personal bests. That is not too far off Q3 there. He's 4 thousandths. No, hundreds, sorry. 400s off Q3. Norris is safely through. And Hamilton is out, so the Merc is definitely having a bit of a bad time. Honestly, Willie, I'm still doing the 100% on 1 part thing, so I haven't actually experimented with 50% CFD for 2 parts or 25% for 4 parts. I can see that it might be viable, but I haven't tested it myself, so I don't know, honestly. You could try and see basically it would require you to make 2 saves that are identical, and see what gives you better components overall. So it's viable to test, honestly, and I might do that at if I have time one day.
Track
If
should
the
be
sprint's
green.
boring, I might sit down and test that, honestly, because that's actually a good question. Okay, Verstappen going to be potentially a bit of a roadblock here, but I think we'll be in the middle of the turn, unfortunately. They did, but honestly, they do have that excuse of, oh, we base the stats of what they have showed early season. But yeah, Man's definitely higher rated than, definitely should be higher rated. So Verstappen screwed us over, we screwed over Verstappen, the circle of life. Now, if we're quick, we probably have time for one more run before we do our final run, so let's gamble. Although I might need to take manual control for this to happen. Yeah, we're gonna have to take manual control to speed. Because, funnily enough, when you take manual control, everything runs quicker. For some reason. And we're not going to be using these tires no more, so that's fine. Keeping that balanced, and we are going to have to harvest on in-laps so that we actually have energy for the next run. But that did put him in P4, so run ain't bad. But we are going to have to send him out immediately and potentially take control again if we want to get this final run in. See, this might be a tad close, but I think he will make it. I think it'll be better, but also more money consuming. Yeah, we made it just barely.
That is the checkered flag.
Yeah, money is a valuable commodity in this game, but if you're gonna make, well, let's face it, if you're gonna make a full pass at the start of the season, it might very well be worth it, and then switch to 100% focus later on. That might work. So it'll depend. Okay, Norris got 7th. That is very acceptable for us. We have Gasly 9th, Magnussen 10th. Magnussen actually ate a penalty. So yeah, this is looking good. Hopefully we can also develop Piastri a little bit so that he can start getting to Q3. Either that or the car. Reports here. Softs are 3/10 quicker than the mediums. They also degrade about the same time, so 10 laps around there. Medium to hard is a good 5/10, about 25 laps. So we might want to do a 2-stopper. I don't know if we want to do this. Let's see, what do we actually have in terms of tires? So we have 1 fresh, 1 used. 1 fresh, yeah. Let's try and figure out a good strategy for Lando. So we could go aggressive on the hard, but again, here tire wear is quite prominent, as you can see. So this might actually be the best chance for Lando, but I'm thinking that we are gonna make a new one. We're gonna start on the hards, go medium, and then go soft, because the AI will be more aggressive on that first stint, and they'll be less aggressive the longer we go. Think something like Canada Challenge would be possible to do an under 5 season in this game? Yeah, I think so. It'll depend on limitations we set for the Canada Challenge, though, and it'll depend on, well, the Canada Challenge itself with its limitations, it might not be possible, but we might be able to make something that is something like that. Probably once we learn a bit more about the game and understand how everything works, it's definitely going to be viable, possible. So it'll depend, but I definitely think it's potentially doable. Okay, so strategy D here, is it quicker than any of the standard ones? It's actually quicker than all of them, because we're running the hard set on, like so. Even this one is about the same time. So yeah, we're just going to do the standard one, but inverted. And I think it's an interesting thing to try. Could backfire horribly. But I think running in free air is probably one of the most valuable things you can do in this game. Now for Piastri, I'm thinking we're going to do a little bit different. This one is actually pretty good for him. He's starting further back. If he can get the RS of a better car, that would be good. The AI is more aggressive in about the first 5 laps. Yeah, Alberta, they will be super aggressive. They will literally push more than you can somehow. It's like they have an extra setting, unfortunately, and I hope they don't, but that is really that is unfortunately the impression that I'm getting from the AI, is that they have a secret setting that allows them to push a little bit harder.
There's a fantastic... And here we go, with the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Okay, I see a lot of soft tires, which might be bad for us.
And it's lights out.
But if we can stick with someone, it might also, you know, be good for us. We'll see. And for Norris, we're going to put his overtake aggression too high. So, okay, here you have the full menu. The Texas menu is actually very simple and straightforward. We'll click this so we can actually see information. If you set the overtake aggression too high, you have a higher chance of overtake, but at the same time, you put more risk of having spins, lockups, and generally just corner collisions. And on the opposite end, yeah, if you go lower overtake aggression, you also lessen your risk of spins and lockups. So there's a different reason why you kind of might want to set that too low. Always defend, basically defend against everything, which of course puts more risk onto the lockups, corner collisions, because, well, you are defending even when you probably shouldn't. And of course it makes you be slower because you are defending. Rarely defend on the other end, doesn't really affect your lap times much. The risk of lockups and corner collisions goes down, but of course you're also easier to overtake. And as you can see here, if we avoid the high risk curbs, it lowers tires wear, it lessens the risk of puncture. I've yet to see a puncture though, other than crashing. And the powertrain wear also goes down, which is also an interesting one for sure. I'd like to test this in probably a different save, just see how much of an effect this has. Because potentially, it could be worth doing this, particularly if you are the best team. Let's say that you are running in first. Avoiding high-risk curves would be a no-brainer then, because, well, tire wear goes down, powertrain wear would be also out the window. Driving in clean air has kind of the same effect here, powertrain wear and temperature. So, honestly, driving in clean air, I don't know if you need to toggle this, but I would expect this to be kind of active whenever you are running in clean air anyways. So, it does help. Don't fight your teammate. Well, doesn't do anything, let's be honest. It's just not fight your teammate. But these two are interesting, particularly if you're running as the best team to begin with. Hello, Harry. Hello, William. I've not hired off Brent Verstappen yet. It'll be at the end of the season when the contract runs out, if we're going to do that. I just borrow some money from Mr. Stroll when he joins. That he can finance Team Canada. Lando and Oscar have both gone through 5 front wings, 3 rear wings in under 2 hours, 3 side pod suspensions in 5 GPs in a row. Jesus. Yeah, I think you might want to set them to, you know, low risk. They might just be going a tad too hard at it. We might just have a safety car here immediately.
Yellow flag here.
Lando and Oscar is expensive. They've been good for me. I think Oscar's crashed once.
And you can see how tight it is.
Did he just swipe him off the track? That won't be a safety car though. They'll be good. They'll be good. But we had some first. What's it called? Let's put this to aggressive. Put this to aggressive. First corner mayhem there. Although I feel like the crashes are kind of weird in this game. It's mostly just side swipes that. I feel like they're football players that, you know, make extra drama to get the opponent. You know, yellow carded, red carded, you name it. Which feels weird, honestly. Low confidence could definitely be causing that, yeah. Crashes do look unrealistic, unfortunately. The end of the season, I hire Verstappen. Well, off-brand Verstappen. As I said, he's not a bad talent, so we might as well just pick him up as a reserve. But, again, it'll be something I'll look at the end of the season. I am focused on a bit of other things right now. We'll also have to check how potentially expensive it is. Did forget to top up though, so we'll do that now. Currently though, we are running the tires aggressive here, as you can see. And it's still working kind of well, but it's getting kind of hot right now, so we'll tune in that slightly further. The AI is running kind of away from us. It's kind of what we expected. Norris has lost a couple of positions, but he is on the hards, so that is also kind of what we expected here. If he can just tough it out on the hards here, and somewhat keep up, we'll still be happy. F1 manager will never learn. I'm not buying it. Can't beat him, join him. Off-brand Verstappen is Williams' name for the show. Okay, yeah, starting on the hard side might have been a bad idea. I'm just gonna say that. Could of course have Norris just allow Piastri to go here, which is probably the better option, but at the same time, yeah, Piastri did get by. Nice. Honestly, let's have Piastri go, which probably will make you a bit sad. So let's tune you down. And let's see, if you keep up, we're gonna allow you to just re-overtake. But now though, we're barely burning these tires, like they're on the edge here. So I think it's fine to run them a little bit aggressively, particularly now that we stopped burning fuel. So I'm fine with the current situation. We did lose out a bit here in terms of running Lando on the hards, but I think we'll more than make up for it as we get further into the race here. Might need to tune Piastri down to a tad here, and as you can see, Norris is now running away from Piastri on those hards. He's really making them work. For sure, all push shares are reserved. Reserved could be a good investment. Yeah, it could be. But what I've seen so far kind of hints towards them developing quicker in F2. So you might want them to get into the 80s before you actually, you know, promote them, so to speak. Unless, of course, some other teams snaps them up. If the Dutchman wins every race, we must beat him. If you can't beat the Dutch, you must join him. Maybe. But Norris is doing well now. He is actually running lap times that are quicker than, say, Russell, just about. But he's slower than most of the other cars there, so... It's not great, but it ain't terrible either. Piastri is just falling backwards. We just can't make it work properly, unfortunately. And of course run him too a little bit more aggressive now. Which should help him with Magnussen, and then he'll have some free air to run in.
Just had a snap. Oh,
Piastri
okay.
with a little bit of a spin there.
Understood.
Did burn tires a lot.
Yellow flag.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's also
confirm.
one thing that they've added now. If you do have a spin, it's gonna have a huge effect on your tire wear. So as you can see now, we're down to 40%. So I think we're just gonna run them standard until they reach about 30. We're gonna have to try and make this work somehow. We don't really have an extra set of mediums, which means that we're gonna have to make the hards last here, which is gonna be a pain. Get a lap of the helmet cam? Yeah, of course. While you enjoy the helmet cam, I'm gonna go and just get something to drink. I'll be back in a jiffy. Should probably try and turn on motion blur for this, honestly. It might be a bit of a better... Is there even motion blur here? Max quality? Let's put that to ultra. I don't know if this is going to restart the game though. That would be problematic. Because it looks really blurry, unfortunately. Burn RV? Yeah. Imagine if Red Bull picked up Piastri. That would be hilarious though. Imagine Red Bull poaching Piastri while having Rick and Tsunoda basically battle to the death over, you know, Paris Ashes. That would be interesting. So Paris is pitting, which kind of reminds me that we do need to pit Piastri as well. We're going to pit him next lap. They should have enough tire wear for that, and we kind of do need to try and stretch these tires to make this work. We're even going to be stretching the hards, unfortunately. But if he can do what Norris has done, which is run the entire stint basically aggressive, we'll be fine. Hamilton and Paris in the pits. We're actually going to beat Paris out, I think. Maybe? Yep. Hopefully none of you are getting nauseous, because when the game released, we had a couple of guys in the chat go, please stop, this makes me sick. But it is a nice angle, let's be honest. Oh yeah, good call. I kind of forgot about this. That's probably slowed them down a tad. Jesus, thank you.
Russell has pitted.
Okay, that's actually good. We got to hear the information out. Russell is ahead, so the fact that the race engineer actually tells us is good. But we're gonna speed things along a little bit here. I kind of want to try and get one more race in today before the sprint. Okay, Piastri at 2.1 stop. That is very acceptable. And we are going to be tuning up his tires then once we get the opportunity here, just so we can get some heat into them. And Verstappen not 16 seconds ahead. Verstappen is running 6 seconds ahead of us. We're going to catch him, I think. Yeah, we're running about the same times. But the reason why Verstappen is not running 16 seconds ahead is because Verstappen is running, I would assume, a completely broken car. So yeah, as you can see here, Verstappen is running a damaged engine, a damaged ERS, and that's still the same from last year. They haven't fixed this, honestly. I'd say they should just either up the durability of the parts by a good 20, 30, maybe even 40%, or just make it so that we, or just give us an extra piece for each of these, for both us and the AI. Because right now, this is kind of breaking the game. It's making it very unrealistic in some parts, let's face it. And they kind of balance the teams in a good way. You'd expect Verstappen to be kind of strong at every track. But because of the fact that they are, you know, struggling this hard with certain things, it just slows them down by a lot, unfortunately. Perez is quick right now, though. Perez is running at 20.2s, 2 seconds quicker. So, yeah. Verstappen 138, what happened to him? He's still quick though, 19.4. Did he pit and actually come out ahead of us? Yeah, he actually did. Yeah, Norris is doing well, running 6 right now. Again, we're using the slowest tire right now too, so I think we'll be good. Damaged and still out front, broken, yeah. Verstappen does have 2 yellow pals, but I think they've actually made the damage part kind of, you lose less lap time now with them, I think. That's the impression I'm getting, but I'm going to test that too later on. What's happening with the chat? Why is it jumping up and down? Is auto thing kind of deleting people? If so, I'm sorry. It might also just be the bots that used to plague me they're getting auto-moderated now, so it could be that. But if any of you are getting moderated, either just comment on a video, because that is a mistake in that case. My apologies. The sprint is starting in an hour and 15 minutes. It got delayed due to the sprint shootout getting delayed. What percentage do each part become worn? Usually between 40 and 50%. It'll depend on your engine manufacturer, hilariously enough, for both gearbox and ERS as well. Okay, so we are at the optimal pit stop lap. Let's have Norris do a full attack lap here to get in. And we'll put him on the fresh mediums. Yeah, sprint got delayed by 35 minutes due to the sprint quali getting delayed by 35 minutes. Okay, we should come out probably ahead of Ocon, I think. Clearly ahead of Ocon. Then we can start hunting down Alonso and Russell. Alonso is out on fresh hards. Russell is out on old mediums, so we should have somewhat of a tire advantage here for quite a while, which is nice. For Piastri, he is currently running okay on these. We'll have to see. Towards the end of this thing, we might need to slow him down a little bit, but he's looking good right now. So yeah, this is looking really good. It's just a bit unfortunate from Piastri that he did have that spin that affected his tires. He already caught Leclerc. Yeah, Verstappen is back in the lead now. If you just give him a couple of more minutes, he's going to be running way ahead of everyone else. But top 3 is actually kind of running the same times. Almost. I wonder what times Norris is going to do now on these mediums. 20.6. We're on fresh mediums. And he's on old softs. And he's still way quicker than us. So we do have some work ahead of us here. Alonso as well. Leclerc must have broken car too. Yeah. Are this engine failures? Is this from one part or just general randomly? It's if your engine hits 0. I haven't had any random engine failure so far, but it's if your engine hits 0. They're also less lenient on parts this year, so that if your part has major damage, like say your chassis, you will be out. So sometimes you see light touches that will result in cars just being straight out. But for those of you who are curious, in terms of broken car parts here, as you can see, we're almost running a broken car. We're at 54.48 here, so Piastri's car is getting very close to the limit. Leclerc, broken gearbox, broken ERS. Sainz, getting very close with his ERS, but this is acceptable. Verstappen, 2 broken components, well, lightly broken. Perez has his engine. Russell is acceptable. Hamilton is very acceptable. Ocon, broken ERS. Gasly, broken engine. Albon, engine and gearbox. Okay, that was late. Sargent has his engine, as you can see. Magnussen has engine. Hulk has engine. Debris has engine. He's even running a 30% engine. So as you can see, most of the cars here have some form of damage or are very close to having some form of damage. So they need to fix this. Unfortunately, it is very, like, it gives the player a huge chances where you can just straight up take. It gives you many opportunities where you can take points where you realistically shouldn't be able to. So it's basically in there, I think, to help the more, you know, casual players that doesn't fully embrace all concepts, because it does give everyone opportunities now and again. And Norris has just red flagged the race.
Red flag, red flag.
He's out.
Now we're approaching turn 2.
Norris.
Cutting it so close. The car's coming together.
Okay,
right
so you
there.
touched him once,
Now that
and then
had
you
the
touched him
potential to
again.
do some
That's
real
a
damage,
that's a problem.
given the nature of that collision.
I don't think there's really any damage to the car, hopefully. Like, he'll probably have broken a side pod, maybe an underfloor. But at least I don't think the components get too hurt. Now, for Piastri, this isn't necessarily a good thing. It does have 2 sets of softs. But I feel like in this menu, we should be able to set up a strategy. Because, let's face it, soft tires, we have 30 laps to go. We're going to have to pit if we go on them, for sure. The hards won't really make it to the end anyways. But we'll be starting close to top 10. So I guess going soft and going soft again would be the best bet that we have here, honestly. But yeah, we need to push Mr. Newey. Yeah, probably. The only real benefit from this is that potentially that red flag isn't going to be too bad for damage, to put it like that. We could replace the front wing if we really wanted to, but I don't think we have a need. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to gamble on softs and do a 2-stopper. Everyone that hasn't gone on the hards yet will be on the hards, and they will just do a 1-stopper for sure. So it's gonna suck, but it is what it is. There is a lot of cars on the hards though, so it might not be too bad. We shall see.
Our race here resumes as we get back underway.
Nope, there are some cars that are doing the exact same thing we are. Soft, medium car right there.
And it's lights out.
Ghastly.
And away
So,
we go.
potentially, yeah, this could be a very interesting end to this race. 30 laps to go. We are on hards. Again, really wish we had this menu in the red flag section, so to speak. So, let's say that we try and stay out on these softs. It's doable, but it's going to cost us a pit stop basically worth the time, so there's no need to do that. Let's say that we go on a second set of softs halfway through the stint, which will allow us to run them aggressive, for the most part. Won't really change the lap times much, as you can see here. So run this standard, run the other one standard as well. And that should be good. I think we have the idea here. But yeah, we'll be focusing on Piastri. He actually does have high confidence. We do need to get him in top 10 for our wallet.
Perfect.
So we'll try and get that, try and manifest that. That said, there are some hard runners here that we could potentially take advantage of later on. There we go, Oscar against Gasly. But we need to get more cars and just get, you know, make gaps here for when we do need to pit, unfortunately. Lando was doing well, yeah, but that's just sometimes what happens, unfortunately. No pressure. He's doing good, he is sending it. And I think we can do kind of an aggressive stint here on these softs. We do have Magnussen up ahead, we're currently fighting Hulkenberg. He should be quicker than Magnussen, he has a better compound. And you can see that he just gains on him.
Lovely stuff.
Good job.
Top 3 people I want on my team. Honestly, 3 highest rated one, but again, particularly with sporting director, probably the one with highest aptitude. For my arrowhead and technical director, it'll depend on mainly the underfloor for the one. The other one is probably again just the highest rated one. Generally, I don't really have any preferences from, you know, real life to go with there. It's just stats. Durability might get buffed because it seems a bit high for me at least. What do you mean durability might get buffed? Do you mean that it might get nerfed? Or actually improved, like more durability? Let's see what we can do with Piastri now. So, ahead of him, it's just Hamilton on the softs, then Alonso. Then we have Stroll. So if we can get some gaps going here, particularly with Magnussen potentially holding up Hulkenberg, we still have a good chance. Oh, out of the F2 drivers, who are you looking to and might want to have. Prix is a good one, honestly. He's probably one of the top talents F2 right now. Behrman is also a good option. Doohan is a good option. Honestly, don't know. I haven't had a good look at them for this year's game. So I am a bit undecided on that one. Piastri is actually doing better than we expected on the tyres here, so we'll keep him aggressive. Problem here is just Stroll being kind of a guard for Hamilton. There we go. Good work, man. Because now we've reached the point where they start to slow down. The cars around us, that is. But Stroll might get us back on the DRS. He'll have another chance right now. Now we can get Hamilton. And of course Sainz. The rest here, that would be great. But we'll see how we can do. More durable? Yeah, could be. Well, we'll probably be hiring, but sure. Don't worry about William. You have been asking so much that I don't think I'll have a choice. Yes, Oscar. Yeah, that was done, mate. Again, tire slightly overheating is fine here, honestly. Durability is not an issue right now. We have lower durability than the other cars around us. But I don't know if they're planning on pitting again. That's the thing. If they're trying to keep those tires alive to avoid a secondary pit stop, then I can understand this, to be fair. Hamilton is still pulling away from us, though. So we do need to try and create a gap to the cars in the back here. And that's going to be difficult, honestly. It's just how it be. To be fair though, Stroll is kind of slowing us down because we kind of have to defend against him. 7 more laps now of this until we can pit. Simply lovely. Honestly, they might make things a bit more durable, particularly the... I'd like to see the engine, the ERS and things like that being more durable, but as you can see now, we are starting to lose out to the cars behind, particularly the hard runner here. Stroll is giving us a bit of a fight. We do have very high confidence though, so it is buffing Piastri, but we are going to need to, you know, keep getting the overtakes done, and it is dangerous to like fight back and forth like this. Piastri has attained peak confidence. Well, to be fair, he did win it last race, so he can't do it every time around. Okay, we are reaching a point here now where these are going to hit 30% by the time we pit, I think. So what we can do is just, you know, allow Stroll to kind of drag us along. And I think we might have to. There are gaps starting to form, which will make it possible for us once we actually do pit to the main concern is going to be the ones that are running the hard mediums to get by them. And right now, we do not have enough of a gap on them, unfortunately. Which is going to be a bit of a challenge here. Piastri is falling backwards now, as you can see, too. Alonso, doing very well, will probably end up... could probably end up winning here, but he too will have to pit. He has started to use his tires a bit more now. So that is... that's interesting. Kind of using Ocon here to try and help our lap times a little bit, but as you can see, Stroll has just started running away from us. Piastri's confidence is still good, but he's lost that peak confidence he had just a couple of seconds ago. So, confidence, again, is very fluctuating, and I feel like it's maybe a tad too fluctuating. So, we'll be pitting this lap for sure.
Yeah, locked up.
Yeah, we'll be pitting this lap for sure. Luckily enough, that just affected the tires, and it is the end of the stint, so it's not too bad. But we did lose about maybe 5 seconds, so that's a bit unfortunate.
So here we go, heading into turn 1. It's certainly inviting.
At least he didn't stop, he kept on going, so they have kind of improved that from last year, which is nice to see. Now, Paris did pit, and he's already beside us, so that is a problem. Do you think that the game has underestimated some of the drivers? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Oh, 2.06, almost sub... a sub pit stop there, which would have been amazing. Alonso pits. Let's see if we can actually fight his way back to the top here. We are going to be running standard, I think, for just a few laps here to make sure that we can make these tires last to the end. Piastri immediately gets to Noda, so that is great. And in terms of where we need to get to top 10, it's a good 16 seconds, 12 laps. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. Oscar should be 85 at least. Yeah. 19.3. We're almost getting to that 2 seconds a lap quicker. So what I'm thinking is that we're just going to have to run aggressive, and we're just going to have to send it. Do the best that we can to actually get those gaps. So for now, should be getting Sargent here easily on the straight, and we did. So aggressive should just about make these tires last, provided we don't have another lockup. And Ocon does now pit. Can we get him? I don't think we will. I think he'll come out ahead of us. Oh, maybe not. Sergeant 2. Oh, Sergeant didn't actually end up blocking him there. That's unfortunate. But yeah, that does give us a little bit of an extra health there because Ocon will be quicker than us for sure. Albon will be pitting soon too. Hulkenberg, unless he's going to try 10 laps on those. Hulkenberg didn't pit yet. Oh, oh dear. So they are still a little bit wonky on strategy after red flags, to be honest. Let's be honest, we chose the best lap to pit on. So we'll have to see it now. Albon hasn't pitted yet. Hulkenberg chooses to pit now. So with that, we are now back up into the points. Let's see if we can actually stay here. Gasly has not pitted yet. I don't know what happened there. We've had a crash on track. Magnussen,
it looks like.
has said bye-bye. Did he take out Hamilton? Oh. Okay, at least it's just a line tap. He should still be in the race. But yeah, that gives us a free spot there. So, again, Gasly might need to pit here, but I think he will just barely survive to the end. But we could potentially end up catching him here. We're running 19s, Gasly's running 20s. It's going to be close, but once he hits that 30%, he's going to be slow. So there are possibilities, which is good. But yeah, Magnussen did kind of pull a little kind of a ballerina move there. Ocon, though, is probably, as I said, going to get us by the end of this race, unfortunately. So getting gas is going to be important. Tires are running barely, like, slightly hot. We kind of have to. And as you can see, it's mainly just that one tire. So it's still okay. Even if it says it's hot, it will only show you the hottest tire here. So it is okay. We'll still be fine by the end of the race. Don't worry. But thank you for letting me know. Gasly is probably going to be within our grasp by the looks of things, which is good. I did burn the entire battery pack though, which is not good. As long as we can stay in DRS2 with Ocon, that's going to help us out a ton. But however, it's going to make our tires hotter, which is not great. Fuel is reaching the negatives, which is also not great, but we have caught up to Gasly basically, so that is good. Thank you, Bugmaster, for reminding me. I do tend to forget these things, so every reminder does help. Now, getting Gasly should be no problem this lap, provided he loses DRS to Ocon. And then we'll have to see if we can actually chase down Ocon. I don't think it's going to be doable. Other than that, Stroll is getting slower, but he is quite a lot further up the grid from us, or the track. A good 7 seconds. He is running 21.9, so we're running 1.4 seconds quicker. We don't have the time for that. But we do have potentially 9th there, which is good. It's a good recovery after Norris binning it. We're good on fuel, don't worry, Steven. Is it just me, or did 90% of Merc fans swap sides and then swap back? To be fair, a lot of people will support an underdog that just suddenly becomes good. And a lot of people also do like Alonso, so that probably helped on too.
That's Leclerc.
But Merc has been
Leclerc
basically
is
winning
today's
for
winner.
the last 10 years before Red Bull started winning, so it's not a big surprise.
P9, P9.
We secured 9th. That is good with Norris's problem.
Now, wasn't it an excellent showing?
That was an excellent showing. I think we should award him with some development. So Leclerc actually wins here. Sorry. Leclerc actually won. Verstappen second, Alonso third, so he almost made it work. Just 5 seconds behind. Perez fifth, Sainz fourth, Hamilton, Stroll, and then Ocon. Ocon did a good showing here. Piastri ninth, also a very good showing. Alpine catches a little bit up with us here, but that was also fine. We can see the FC results in the game. I'll show you if they had a race weekend this week. Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, so Driver Championship is up for grabs for sure, which is very, very nice to see. Alonso, Stroll, 5th and 6th, and, well, Russell and Hamilton now where they should be. So this is basically what you'd expect, the top 4 teams occupying the top slots here. We kind of have been kind of overperforming. Bit of unfortunate that Lando actually crashed out though. Red Bull is leading constructors, Ferrari is leading drivers, so we're going to have a fight on our hands and I'm all for it. With this though, we're actually equal with Alpine on points. We are also doing very well for the Faster Pit Stop Championship, 20 full points there, so that is good. And as you can see here, we had just we had a couple of pit stops there. Bit of shame for Norris again, but it is what happens. Okay, so we pay a bonus to Piastri. We apparently failed the finish position. I think that's put it at 8th, so that is probably why we crashed out. I got over ambitions, and the game was just like, no, you're not one of the top 4 teams. We can't have that. So Norris has crashed out, but he has improved his performance rating. That's interesting. He also has 95 control, so he really shouldn't be crashing, but I guess we took a risk and it didn't pay off. Piastri here, he also has decent control, which is good. Development is still on pace and short runs, need to get that braking and cornering up. And let's have a look here at the feature race results. So here you can actually have a look at the F2 results, F3 results. As you can see, Porsche 1, Behrman 2nd, Iwasa 3rd, Solsi, Beganovic, Barnard. And if we click this button, it'll show us full results from practice, the qualifying, the sprint. They actually have the sprint here. And yeah, Vishal, 14th, race, Vishal 3rd. Sorry, he's not 3rd. I saw that and I thought 3rd. He's 12th. And we can actually click on him to have a bit of a look here. So, again, lacking a little bit in cornering reactions, but getting there. Drivers could regress in some aspect in the season. Yeah, if they do poorly, that wouldn't surprise me. I am very curious though. Saint Maloney has a lot of potential. Okay. Thank you, scouting department. Okay, let's see here. So if we compare car 2 to car 1, so Norris did pick up some engine damage, he did pick up some DRS damage, but luckily these parts were close to being retired anyways, so I'll accept this. It's not great, it's not terrible. Chassis did get destroyed though, front wing did get destroyed, that's expensive, that's 500,000, that's 225, that's another 400 I think, so over $1 million worth of damage, which is unfortunate. We also gonna have to switch, change out the front wing there for Piastri. That is fine. And yeah, we have a little bit of money, not too much of a concern. And we do have some actions required here. We just replace the car part for front wing, and for this we're just going to put on a new front wing. We are going to have to manufacture them though, we're now running out. We are going to have to make a new chassis, but that's fine too. The suspension, we're going to be putting him on a very old suspension, as you can see. Potentially, I think we're good though. I think we'll have, or maybe not. Yeah, we'll have 2 days before we get that suspension done. So potentially, we could give him a new suspension for race day, but until then, he's going to have to live with a very old one. So Norris is going to be potentially a little bit nerfed here, as you can see. But that is just what we're going to have to live with. This new suspension would be a nice upgrade, particularly for Norris. But at the same time, it is what it is. It's not a huge upgrade, but particularly the brake cooling aspect is going to be nice to have. Norris, you're costing us money, bro. Yeah. How is our car ranked? We can have a quick look here. Car's actually not ranked badly. Like, we're 8th in top speed, 11th in acceleration, 6th DRS efficiency. Low speed, medium, and high speed was still well ranked. And again, we are lacking a few of the parts right now. Brake cooling, engine cooling is where we are losing out. But we are a very solid top of the midfield car. We should be beating Alpine on the regular. So right now the car is pretty good. And potentially that's also why we might want to focus a little bit more towards research as we keep on going. Now these 2 parts we can just keep on because, well, next thing we're going to do is practice anyways. But there is going to be a sprint now, isn't there? So we might want to do the practice ourselves if we have time for it. And we should have, let's be honest. So I'm just pre-putting in the car parts here for practice because, well, I had the screen there, I had the opportunity. And we'll have to see it because what potentially we could do is put that new suspension on, as I said, Norris' car. We'll have to see. Isn't our reserve an Indy driver, Alex Palou? I think he is, but I believe a bunch of the reserves for F1 also do other things. So, wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Okay, let us set up the targets for the fastest lap. No, that keeps that evil away from me. Qualifying position, we're just going to put one driver in top 10. We're going to be, again, a little bit more passive there. Of course, we could go for fastest lap, but we're basically going to have to pitch someone at the end and gamble there. And although it's money, I don't feel like it's worth it, personally. So we're not going to do that. Let's see, do we want to design something? Nope, we'll have the underfloor. We do have money. But we don't have any engineers right now. So yeah, we'll get that chassis done to test the research, and then we'll see.
This weekend,
Devs don't have interest in other series, pitiful ranking. Yeah. I think they're afraid of making someone higher rated than they would otherwise be. Like, they've decided that it's better to rate everyone a little bit lower than where they should be than a little bit higher. They're afraid of people being more upset of someone being too highly rated rather than someone being too low rated, I think is part of it here. Let's try and get our car set up here for Spa. This is going to be a bit of an interesting one. Either I do this manually or we just sim it. I think we probably just sim it. Even though it is, unless I'm mistaken, sprint immediately. So, yeah, I think we're just going to sim it and we're just going to live with what happens. I think that is our best option here. We're also going to have rain for the race itself, so this could be a very interesting weekend. There we go. Leclerc taking penalties, Verstappen taking penalties. These will apply to the race, I believe. Won't have an effect on Ocon taking penalty. Won't have an effect on the race itself. But what are these setup ranges? You surprised? They should be good, but yeah, did kind of miss it there. Gonna have a bit lower starting confidence. Not great. Can you use a keyboard on F1 Manager if you play on console? Yeah, F1 Manager does have mouse and keyboard support for console. At least 23 does. I don't want to say if 22 does. Let's see here. What we can do to fix this. Okay, so what it should be... Let's double check this. It should be something like this as a good base, but then we just tweak it a little bit. Like so. Okay, so basically this should be okay. This should also be okay. I just need to get this one within the limits, and like so. So this is going to be a bit of a gamble, because we don't know really where corner we want to be, but this is closer. This is close enough. This one a little bit back. And then we do that. So again, this is a bit of a gamble. Apparently they might have changed this one, maybe, or I misremembered, which is probably more likely. But at least we did hit pretty well here for Piastri, but I don't know if they want to go right or left, and we're in the middle of the thing. So we're just gonna have to live with that, unfortunately. Which is, I guess, why they said they would make it a little bit more interesting. Would be cool if they added co-op. Yeah, it could be interesting. Can't be too upset if they rate drivers on IRL performance. Biggest difference between 22 and 23? Well, they've added a few more systems. One of them is this driver confidence system. It's basically usually what you got from setups, but this one is dynamic. If your driver does well in the race, overtakes, personal best, things like that, the confidence will go up. They'll get more stat boosts. They've added a new pit crew system where you have a sporting director. You can more easily manage your pit crew. It's way easier to get things going there. They've added dynamic, growth. You can no longer put points into different stats. You can put a development focus, which is usually 4 areas or 4 stats that they can focus on. So they've done a lot of quality of life, made the game feel a lot better. They've also added the you know, race moments, race things like that. But the biggest difference is probably the fact that the AI will kind of genuinely fight you now. And they're kind of good at it, so... Yeah. We're gonna have to take a penalty, yeah. No other way around it. Good question. Gonna go watch the sprint, mate? Doesn't that start in just an hour, though, the sprint? I thought it started in a good 45 hours, but 45 minutes, but I guess they do have this sprint show. I thought, but I might be mistaken, Alberto. Hope you enjoyed the sprint, mate. I don't know if the driver confidence increases when overtaking the pits, but I don't think so. I haven't seen any huge changes there. I don't think it really counts as an overtake in the game engine, so I think you're safe there. Yeah, this is going to be expensive because I think we're going to need a new engine for Piastri at least. At one point. Probably a new gearbox as well. So we did pay money now for... Start at 16:05 GMT. So yeah, doesn't it start then in 45 minutes? Firehawk? I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we are going to take an ERS penalty if Norris. It's just how it's going to have to be. And we will start quali. And as you can see, if you don't send a car out, they revert to no, they actually get set at zero quality, zero confidence, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it starts at 16:30, Leonard, but it got delayed by 35 minutes due to the sprint shootout getting delayed. So they had to delay it because of the other stuff that's happening at the track. Delays work like that. One delay will delay everything. So it's starting at 17:05.
Drive to the Delta.
And we box this lap, cool the car.
Well, 17:05
Yeah,
for me.
okay.
It would be 16:05 GMT. Okay, not the best first run there apparently, but looks like we're okay. We're just going to do another run on the same set of softs. And let's be honest, we're probably going to run the sprint here on, I assume, mediums. Yeah, because of F2. But the delay is because of the sprint quali actually getting delayed by 35 minutes. Which delayed F2.
P6.
Oscar Piastri win in today's sprint? Bold prediction? Could be, honestly. It would be great if he did. Honestly, I would be very happy for him. Anything that shakes up the current status quo with Max just blasting Super Max and running away would be great. Would you say this edition is more like an update? I'd say this edition is more like polishing with DLC. Like, I don't feel like it's worth the full price, personally. But it's not a bad update necessarily. It is gonna, you know, it is what it is. It is, as I said, a nice update. I think I should give Piastri new fresh tires just to be safe. So this edition has, as I said, new features with the race moments, race replay thing. It has the driver confidence. It has the new pit system. It has AI updates where they actually are more competitive. But at the same time, they still have some things that haven't been changed, like the stupid AI. So, well, I say stupid in the fact that they will be using pass down to 30% again, 20%, things like that. So, it'll depend on basically that. We might be a bit too late here with Piastri and Norris. We might need to take control. And we might ruin Russell's race at the same time. Not race qualifying, but you get what I mean. Okay, so Piastri did overtake him there. I'd like to heat the tires, but there's some boys ahead of us. But we do need to go attack it if we're actually going to make it in time. So it's fine. Ooh, we just barely didn't make it with Piastri. That's sad. Didn't make it with Norris either, but I think we're safe. Just wasted a set of softs. But yeah, I have hope for Piastri, but then again, if Supermax decides to just blast Supermax and run away, not much you can do. Actually, so this career, do you change teams or do you continue in McLaren? I am probably going to continue in McLaren until we win. So we'll take a penalty for the race itself, but we're good right now for quali. Did kind of waste a set of softs though, but that's fine.
Sessions should be starting now.
Okay, we managed to sneak out ahead of everyone. That's good. Now, this is a pretty long track, so if we do a second run after this, we're going to have to send them out immediately, I think. Even that might not be enough. Sleepy Astro is complaining about cold tires, so the track is 40 degrees, so that shouldn't actually have any issues with tire heating, honestly. But we shall see. So yeah, we'll only have time for one more run here.
Yeah, confirm.
Put on a set of fresh and try and push. We might need to take manual control just to make sure that they actually heat the tires enough.
Okay, look after the fuel on the way in.
Yeah, Max will win with all yellow bars for sure. I think we'll just run these softs here. That should be fine. And we'll just wait here. We'll do one run, which is a bit of a gamble. Because if we get stuck behind the wrong car, we are going to be out here. Okay, so final runs are about to start, as you can see. So I'm thinking we will be sending out our cars now. Which might be a tad too early, but I think we'll still be okay. I'm gonna hope. Hope everyone just sends out their cars right now. Yeah, we might have sent them out a little bit too soon, but hopefully we get a gap here that we can work with. The Vries and Stroll decides no. Norris should be okay. The question here is if Piastri can get through this without too much trouble. Because cars really don't like getting out of the way on this track. Okay, now we're playing danger games here. Yeah, I might have made a bit of an error, but we'll see. Unfortunately, both out in Q1. Sorry, Q2. My bad. Oh man, I was on for amazing double points P6 and P10, but Hamilton decided he didn't like Ocon on last lap and got a penalty. That's unfortunate. At least he's still got both cars in the points. Now this is going to cost us money because Is it though? I don't know if that actually counts as the qualification for the race, since it's technically the quality for the sprint. Guess we'll have to figure that out. What's your first language, by the way? Because I honestly thought you were Southern English, maybe hint Scandinavia, Baltics. I am from Norway, so Scandinavia is correct. Just played a lot of games online with a lot of different accents. So I kind of been picking up a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and turn into a monster in the process. Can't wait for your guide whiz, like last year, because I don't understand a damn thing. To be fair, this game has some more complexity to it, and I'm all for it, but I can understand where you're coming from. Okay, let's get the practice done, then we'll jump into the sprint. Sounded a bit Irish. Seems like Super 1 pass don't affect AI car performance. Honestly, again, this is probably something I want to test, but I don't think the one pass affected performance as much as it did last year. Because last year it was a good half a second or more from running in badly damaged engine. It doesn't seem to be as bad this year. So
well, it's a different format this week.
We will see. I feel like whenever I'm made aware of my accent, I end up chucking in more accents that I'm less familiar with for some reason, just subconsciously. So it wouldn't surprise me, Renz, if I turned a bit Irish there for a second. But yeah, I'm tempted also test the engines, as I said, but I'll have to do a bit of work to set that up. It's going to be more difficult in this game, with quali being more of a mess. It was really easy to test it last year because quali, you could literally have, as long as you clicked the exact same, well, not really frame, but around the same second, you could basically have your drivers reliably set the exact same time. So it was way easier to test last year, but it might be a bit more difficult this year, but I'm still planning on doing it. The CRS might become damaged during this sprint, but I think it's fine to risk it. Soft tires, medium tires, which one do we want to use? I think it depends on what we can do. So this will be 21. And if we push these tires, we could get it to 22, but we can go full attack at times if we really want to. So I think we go medium, and that will allow us freedom towards the end to, as I said, go full attack if we need to. Which should be okay. Car setup, again, wasn't the best here, but it is a sprint weekend. It's what the devs intended for it to be. So we'll try this, we'll see how it goes. I think we'll be fine. Let's go.
15 long and challenging laps await the drivers.
Many of many talents.
Here we are, the sprint
I'm a many of many talents. I feel like, Joel, you got inspired by
And it's lights out, and away we go.
the underfloor is underfloor thing from yesterday. I understood what you meant, I'm just poking a bit fun. Sorry about that. I'm a natural soundboard. I wouldn't send it that far. Okay, this is kind of epic seeing that from the driver cam, honestly. What do I think of the reg changes? Definitely the payout for team's position in championship will matter. Yeah, I have seen a reg change where basically the top team takes a lot more money, so I don't know if he's talking in-game though or in real life. Welcome back, Ninkia. You missed a horrible quali, but we have started the sprint just now. You probably also missed Lando deciding that he was done with the race and crashing out, picking up a bit of damage, and Piastri scoring in 9th place. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I understand just fine. Thank you. Really, really makes me. Really helps. But yeah, we'll be running this entire stint aggressively, and even if we end up cooking the tires a little bit, it should be okay. I would think. Now, since this is a sprint, we can't really push the fuel as aggressively as we would otherwise. So once we get to 0.4, we're going to slow down the usage of fuel, just a tad. And that should help out a little bit as well. There we go. Gonna go back to neutral on the ERS here, so we don't use everything. Gonna remember it for once. Most teams would pull out ERL if that happened, yeah. I haven't seen like remove like less prize money, but I've seen a regulation that meant a redistribution of the prize money, where among basically the top team gained, I think, about a percentage point more, which they took from the bottom teams, so wouldn't surprise me. Oscar did do a good job after, because Norris did actually in fact cause a red flag. Sprint park firm are restricted? What are you thinking of? Because the sprints are park firm, yeah. Because you can't even... This is bar, yeah. The thing is, with the sprints, once you do the first practice, then you do quali. And as soon as you do quali, you are park firm restricted, which means that for the second practice, the only thing we can really change is just the angle of the front wing. So, basically, it really limits what you can do for that second practice, which means that for sprint weekends, you really only have one real practice. Now, we are the only car on medium tires, so I might have made a huge mistake here. But at the same time, we could, of course, go towards the end a little bit more attacky. So it's not necessarily a super bad thing, but we do need to remember Norris has a new ERS. He's going to take penalties here. Somehow missed this game last year, but I think we're going to have to pick this up. Yeah, this is a improved version of last year's game, basically. They added some more complexity. Game's a bit more, I say fun, honestly. But at the same time, they did change it up a little bit here. We are going to go attack now, and we're probably going to stick with attack to the end. It should be doable unless we completely cook the tires. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, this is mainly management. Other than taking care of the tires here, you don't really do much. You might tell your drivers to be high on aggression, for instance, but that, of course, comes with risks. So you have some sort of managing the races themselves, but you don't do any, like, driving yourself. So it is good. Now, some of you might be worried that we are actually cooking these tires, but there's actually levels to cooking tires as well. Interestingly enough. We are overheating, but as you can see, we're barely overheating. We are within... We are on the cusp, so it doesn't really affect the performance that much. It doesn't affect the degradation that much. As you can see, even if we're cooking on aggressive, Norris is still running the expected degradation for standard. So in this game, you can really go attack and not really suffer too many consequences on certain tracks. He's even doing better than expected to some degree. So we're going to go full on attacker to the end. Norris is going to be, you know, doing his best to get through the pack here. But of course, he is going to get punished again potentially later on. We'll have to see. We now have Hamilton and Russell kind of being held up by Hülkenberg, and we'll see if we can make our way through them. Because again, degradation isn't too much of a concern for us, but you can see the difference here. Piastri doing well. As you can see, even they are saying tires are slightly overheating, so you can definitely do that well. Soft medium for a race could. I don't think that's doable, honestly. It would be very risky. Two-stopper might be kind of forced here, but it could be doable. We'll have to try. Cook them good, yeah. Lightly cooking the tires is perfectly fine. It's when you start getting that severe damage that you'll be in trouble. So as you can see, we're now running 43.8. We are running the quickest out of anyone, but of course Verstappen. So that shouldn't come as a surprise. Piastri is gaining 1.8 seconds on Hamilton, but they're kind of getting held up by Hülkenberg, so Piastri too could end up climbing here. We only have 3 laps to go though, so don't really have much time to do it on. But it could do. They might nerf it in a future update, kind of when you push the hard tires in the compound at exactly the same pace as softs. Yeah, I know.
There's a yellow flag now.
I don't remember what Oscar's understanding is. I don't think we can check it here, can we? Nope. Unfortunately, but he has scored points. Keep in mind, Kevin, that currently what I'm playing is early access to some degree. The standard edition gets released on Monday in 2 days. So you need deluxe if you want to play it immediately. Yeah, there's no penalty point system still, unfortunately too. But they'd have a hard time balancing that if they added it, to be fair. So that might actually be good not to add, honestly. Last lap, let's just deploy Piastri's ERS to the maximum here. And let's see if he maybe catches a piece of ham here.
Oscar, you can reduce the LICO slightly.
So we have actually reached the point now where the engine starts taking damage, 49%. Good to know, that is the Red Bull engine. This is actually some nice sliding too, honestly. Come on, Piastri, you can do it. But we are going to have to balance your fuel so you don't run out. So I think we'll only have a last chance here now.
That's Leclerc. Charles Leclerc
And then try and send it into final corner, maybe?
McLaren, a good job. Let's check a flag. And he's
Unfortunately, the damaged engine here might actually be what put Piastri into the gutter.
yeah, it was a good job.
Because if you remember from last year, the second that engine starts turning yellow, you lose about a couple of tenths extra. Does one piece affect AI speed too? It should. It did in last year's game at least, and the speed drop was quite excessive, so it should for sure. If you leave drivers on auto, do they race engineers still make adjustments, push fuel? No, they don't. You still have to manage that yourself. But as you can see, that the system is fairly forgiving. You can on many of the tracks just cook the tires kind of, and you'll still be good. So don't need to worry too much about that. ERS you can leave on neutral and put on the battle assist, and they will still have plenty of energy in the tank, but they will use it to overtake and defend. So ERS can be somewhat automated. Looks like it's gonna rain 10 minutes to sprint. Should be interesting. Yeah. What edition do I have? I have the deluxe edition. The only difference between the editions is early access and the 12 scenarios. So honestly, if you don't like the scenarios and can wait for wait 2 more days, the standard edition is probably good enough for you. There is going to be a deluxe edition upgrade where you can pick up those scenarios, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Lando did get a penalty, Ninke, but not from the race. We had to replace his ERS before the race, so he did have that crash in Hungary, which caused some problems. So I am questioning this strongly. Did Norris get a penalty during the race? Because I changed one ERS. Is that a 13 grid penalty? I changed one little ERS in the game, and they were just like, nah, that's illegal. It might be because I did that after quali, I think. No, I think I did it before quali, didn't I? I don't even remember. But yeah, Lando apparently got a penalty. It's now starting 17th. Yeah, it showed up after the quali too, so I'm pretty sure that it was in the quali, but that is a bit confusing for me. With that in mind though, since we've already broken park firm, why don't we have a little bit of fun here? So, car parts. I think I forgot about the fact that we have a suspension ready that is gonna help with the brake cooling, so I'm not allowed to do that. Okay. So yeah, we wouldn't have been able to use that this weekend anyways, but I thought we'd just super brake park firm while we were at it. Now, what I'm wondering is if we can do something cheekier with the sponsors. Okay, so I'm no longer allowed to edit this now, after the sprint. Well, in Turn 2, you were allowed to set targets where we finish, but we're apparently not allowed to do that. So we did fail this one. We're going to have to pay a little bit of money, but this one more than covers it, so we're okay there, honestly. Okay, thank you. We have been applied with another penalty. So the hard set we can actually push to virtually the entire race with no penalty. As you can see that we could also push the softs, so we could do something like this for interesting strategies selections. It's potentially 40 seconds quicker. So let's say if we do a one-stop medium to hard, it's 17:39. It could potentially be a lot quicker than anything else we could do here. So this could be quite interesting. I play Williams now with 1 left. You could do something else because there's no way an AT will catch up. Yeah. I'm very tempted here to just send both the cars on this because the other thing that we can do is going to be a 2-stopper. And again, this is Spa. We can actually go with aggressive strategy here and not have any big problems. So let's say that we do 2-stopper, soft, something like this. It's going to be quicker too. 17:48, and let's see, 14 laps. This. So we have some options there. Norris is going to take his strategy. Is going to take how long? 17:39, 17:47. Now the thing with Piastri and doing this strategy probably won't work because Piastri won't be able to really keep the tires alive. I think we could try it, but it would be risky doing it with him. We might have to run, say, aggressive. Which still will be fairly quick, don't get me wrong. It still will be fairly quick. This one will be quicker though still, 17:47. And Lando's will be quicker still. I think if I'll put Lando on this strategy, just to try off, it should be good. Game positions back to 7th. We're still 17th. What's the speed drop-off for severe overheating though? I know you said moderate isn't that bad. Severe overheating, I haven't tested it, but it should be pretty bad, honestly. I haven't deliberately gone into severe overheating though, but light, like we had last the sprint, shouldn't be too troublesome. I think we're going to power through this race before the sprint. We have 20 minutes. We're going to do it. So we're going to do a little bit interesting here for Piastri. He's going to be doing a two-stopper. He's going to be aggressive on the softs. He's going to be full attack on the mediums. And Norris is just going to be living his entire life on full attack. So that should be interesting to see if it actually works. This is actually more of a test too. If we have a quick look at the report here for the circuit, abrasiveness is medium. Wait, we can't do this, I just realized. I am a dum-dum. Do you see what I forgot about? It's gonna rain. This could have worked, it could have been fun, but it's gonna rain. So for Norris we could potentially still do something fun. So rain is gonna show up around lap 30, but it looks to be light. Like this is the rubber and the grip. And potentially it's still gonna be dry. Like, it's going to be so little rain here that it's going to be dry, because the grip here is still going to be higher than the water level. So this could be very interesting. I think we'll just stick with this strategy. Going on the hard stick could, of course, backfire horribly. But I think it would be fun to try out and see if we can make this work. For Piastri, this is actually still working. If we end up having to go into wet tires here, then we can change it up, but it's going to be raining, but potentially, as I said, little enough rain that it won't really matter. So this could get interesting for sure.
You can hear the excitement in the crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Lights out and away we go. Hey, Norris did with a good start already. Got a position. As long as he can keep on, getting higher up there, he'll be good. And in terms of what the AI has chosen here, Verstappen is on the hards behind Piastri. I think Piastri actually overtook him. So that's going to be interesting to see how long we can keep him behind. We also have a couple other soft runners here. So potentially an interesting race on our hands. Yeah, race moments are good. Like they're fun little challenges, and they do tie into the real world racing a lot. So you have a much bigger audience for your game. So it's going to be good for the developers as well. Let's be honest. For Piastri, we're going to have to tune him down to aggressive here, as we already knew. And for Norris, it should be no problem, as I said, running him on full attack. He's even cooling the tires right now while running behind Bottas, so I would not be too concerned here. Piastri is slightly cooking, Norris is now also slightly cooking, but it should just be this part of the track. Hopefully. We might need to tune them down. DRS has been enabled. That should make it a lot easier for Norris to get the overtakes done here. Piastri should probably catch up to Hamilton, maybe get something done there. But it is looking promising. Now remember, Piastri has slightly better brake cooling than Norris, so we'll have to see if the cooking there is going to be bad or not as we keep on going. I'd say for this, we can probably do 1.2 kilos of fuel in negative without having any issues. And as you can see, Norris is actually keeping the degradation above what is expected. Piastri is about also where we expect him, so everything is looking good. Verstappen overtaking Piastri should not come as a surprise, even on soft versus hard tires. Norris finally gets Bottas. We have Magnussen up next. And he actually immediately just flies by him, which gives him free air, so that should help a little bit with cooling those tires. Magnussen is coming back though, because Magnussen has DRS, and he actually managed to stay in front. So give it a lap then, and we should be ahead of Magnussen again, I think. Piastri is still doing a good job, running in 10th. We should be getting to the point now where we will be tuning down fuel, which should also help with cooling the tires. So Norris here, running full attack is apparently not enough for him. We should probably tell him to go harder at it. Which is funny. Piastri overtakes Perez, so Perez had a bit of an incident here. And Norris did get Magnussen now. Gonna have Albon next, and then the two Alpines. Piastri is actually struggling to get by Verstappen, well, Hülkenberg now, and it's actually going a little bit, having a little bit of an effect on his mental. That's fine. We should actually put them both in high aggression a bit earlier. That would help Norris getting the overtake done. But I think we're looking good here, honestly. Norris is basically already back in points, and remember, Norris is just doing a one-stopper. Now, Piastri could get kind of screwed over by this two-stopper, and of course, we're going to have to see just how bad the rain gets by the end of this race. Norris gets Albon. Let's have a quick look.
Now the focus is on Lando Norris.
And it is probably what we're going to be seeing a lot this weekend. That looked a bit, you know, weird and scary for a second. Albon with connection issues. Okay. Piastri still running behind Hülkenberg. Should be ready to make a move soon, though, I think. He is also looking good on the tyre wear, so for sure things are looking good. Norris there also with peak confidence brings him almost to 100 cornering. So yeah, Norris is doing very, very well here. 99 cornering, 97 braking. Should have some pretty good lap times, and as he keeps on getting overtakes done, it should just keep on going down. The main thing that is actually holding him back right now, I think, is actually being stuck behind other drivers. Piastri gets Hülkenberg, which is really good. Yeah, I'll show standings after this race, Nick. I forgot. My apologies. As I said, when I say I'm going to do something, if I don't, it's actually because I forget. It's not because I'm trying to be mean. So sorry for that. I will try and remember to do it after this race. Now Norris is actually having a bit of a problem getting by these medium runners, but even running full attack, as you can see, he's just 3% difference from them, so he's doing well. Now we are getting close to pit stop, so I'm going to allow Piastri just to run full attack. It is 3 seconds up to the next car, and also he has free air, so we're going to take advantage of it. Hello Thanos, what's the meta for upgrades this game? I haven't figured it out yet, honestly, but early game I said the meta is just make all the 6 pieces and slide durability to minimum. And after that, you want to focus on your front wing, your rear wing. And we're currently testing something out in terms of research, and potentially I found a bit of an exploit there. But we'll see it'll be in a few races time. But early game, I'd say just focus on making every piece with minimum durability. And after that, you can start experimenting with underfloor, rear wing, front wing, things like that. So the fact that Norris has basically caught up to Piastri is kind of surprising here. He's done really well. He's still not peak confidence though, so needs to get an overtake or two down here to reach that, I guess. Well, he's peak, but it's not the peak of the peak, if that makes sense. So that is the idea, I think, Thanos, for now. Okay, we are 1 car away from the points. Now, for Piastri here, he is losing time to the cars in front, but the car in front is Hamilton, so that is understandable. So we will be pitting him after this lap. We'll be putting him onto mediums. These mediums should last to the rainy period if it, becomes rainy enough. So looking forward to seeing how exactly that goes. Even running full attack, he kind of was making these tires last. So I think we'll just keep him on full attack after we get there. And as you can see, Norris has been running full attack, and even then he is still safe. But that's mainly, I think, because he's being held up by other drivers. So we might extend this medium stint by a few laps. There's no reason not to. The hards will still be there. And this is a bit interesting. We have Hülkenberg just powering through. Okay, so we have a delayed pit stop here for Piastri. 4-second stop time. To be fair, that's not super bad of a delay. And he still came out ahead of, the cars that he was supposed to. So it's not all bad. We can live with that. I read somewhere that the upgrades work in combination, so you can't just max out the underfloor and ignore the wings. That would actually be a new thing that they've added then, because I haven't seen that. We have a red flag.
Red flag, red flag.
That's going to be bad. Okay, so... Give me a hug. I'll have to look into that, Kevin, because if that is the fact, then things are going to be very interesting. So 3 minutes after the restart, we're going to have moderate rain. Okay. So, Piastri just pitted, which is, you know, bad for him. But potentially, it could also make these hards last to the end. Potentially. So, it's either that we go with the original strategy, or we put him on the hards here. Very unlucky for Oscar, yeah. Pastry. I forgot that we used to call him Pastry. It's either that we put him on the hards, and we see if he can do the same that Norris is doing, but keep in mind, Piastri does have worse smoothness. It's going to be difficult for him. So I think we're just going to put him on a new set of mediums and then do softs to the end, or inters, depending on what the weather says. And for Norris here, we could potentially put him on the hards, because look, this is his current rate on the mediums. He has been held up by other cars, but we could put him on the hards, have him run full aggressive, and probably still make something out of this. We could put him on a new set of medium, but we're going to have to pit him by the end. So we'll have to just make a decision on that. I don't remember how long the pit lane is here. So honestly, putting him on the mediums is probably a good idea. We'll just put him on the medium. The lifetime is potentially 44 laps. So I can believe that. He is running 54% one mediums after, what, 16, 17 laps? So could potentially make it work. I think we're just going to go mediums, and we'll see once we actually get to, as expected, the rain here, how bad it's going to be. Because right now, it looks like it's not going to be bad enough that we're actually going to need wet tires.
All drivers have taken their positions again. Once more,
Ferrari front line. Pit lane quite short, yeah. So I think just setting up for an extra double pit stop might be the play here.
Can reduce the LICO slightly.
Let's see what we can do. Need to speed up a little bit so we can get this rate. Now remember, again, the AI is very aggressive on restarts. They will push their fuel, they will push their tires, they will push their ERS to the absolute limit. So usually we'll fall a little bit back on, you know, restarts, things like that. But it looks like we're good this time around. So everyone has gone on the softs. And it has actually started raining now. So this is still going to be a bit interesting in terms of how much water is going to arrive. We might just have a wet dry race, which would be hilarious. So let's see exactly how much rain we end up with. We're currently at 50. So yeah, our weather center might actually be a bit bad here. We'll see. 66. Anyone jumping into the pits? All of them are. Okay, it might actually... Yeah, it's going to be inters to the end then. It's just the grip is still going to be good. I don't think we'll be able to go in the current time to the end. I understand why they went on the soft now. I just didn't think because the grip was still going to be so, you know, basically dry levels of grip. I didn't think we were going to have full wet, but now the rubber's actually gone down here. Before, remember, the rubber was going to fall off at the end. So I think we're going to have to do the double pit stop here. Get both cars in on inters. We could gamble on staying out, but I think we're just going to have to go for inters here. I assume that is the best idea. We're going to double stack, which is going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to be the best thing we can do. Probably still. And as you can see, we did actually lose out in the pit stand, mainly because I think we got blocked. So that's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now, McLaren debris is still going to have to pit. So it's a bit unfortunate, but again, it is what it is. Top up is a refuel mode, as you can see. Actually, I haven't put on the battle assist. So top up is a refuel mode where you actually regain energy. So they removed overtake and bundled it into the battle assist. The battle assist is basically your driver will pick when to pit. Sorry, not when to pit. When to use energy to defend and attack. And that is the general idea. Now we're actually cooking these tires a little bit too.
How is the track and how is
But
the pace?
that shouldn't be too bad as long as we stay on 90. So we'll see exactly how, you know, the weather changes here. Could be very interesting. We might just need to tune it down to aggressive so that we don't completely overcook these tires. 90 degrees should be where we want to aim at. So it's going to be interesting. After this race, can we terminate? No, we can't terminate this contract, sorry. 45 seconds pit time? Yeah. Not a good day. Tires are moderately overheating too, so we might need to put it even further down until we get wet rain again. So overtaking is going to be difficult, everything's going to be difficult. It's just a bit of a shame. I think the red flag kind of messed with the weather too, honestly. It's also silly season. Yeah. We probably should have just done what Leclerc did and stay out for a lap to make sure that we had a safe pit stop. Probably would have been better because, again, the main issue with that wasn't our pit stop, it was actually that the other cars held us up so we couldn't get back out. Tire temp is now good. Norris is running behind a couple of lads. We're going to give him aggressive, see if we can get by. Same here for Piastri. We're going to be going a little bit up and down, back and forth. Norris up to 11th now, Piastri up to 13th. In terms of tires, everyone is on the same. Hulkenberg has cooked this a little bit, but that's fine. Lap times are still slow for us, 51.6. So we'll have to see if we can actually make something out of this race or if we kind of threw it. So since Norris has free air now, we're going to gamble on just going attack. Again, Piastri's tires are being cooked because he's stuck behind Gasly. We're going to have to run him standard for a little while, just so, you know, cool them down a tad. But Piastri should be able to get by Gasly before too long. Like so. That should also help with cooling his tires. We can tune him down a little bit. Norris 2 now is cooking his tires a little bit more than we like. So we'll slow that down. The ideal temperature is around 90 degrees, like Piastri. It says he's cooking them, but this is fine. So these are running way too hot. We need to bring these down a little bit. We'll bring them down to about 90 and then we'll just go full attack again. So again, Norris has pretty high smoothness, so he's usually good anyways. De Vries did jump a lot of people, but he's down to 18th, so a bit unfortunate. But yeah, staying out another lap was indeed the correct strat there. It's a bit of a shame, but when the pit lane gets flooded with cars, unless you have like the first pit box, you kind of do get screwed. See if Norris now with full attack can actually get a handle here on the Mercedes. You can already see Hamilton falling a little bit back to try and defend. Yeah, we are severely overheating the tires. We're going to have to slow down again. So we might have to just chill out a little bit and allow them to properly cool before we do another attack. Slightly overheating is not an issue, as we remember. Pit when Lewis does, Lando? They're not going to pit again, to be fair. We have no need. No one will have a need to pit. It should be wet for the entirety of the remainder of the race. So what we're going to allow Lando to do now is just cool them down as far as they can go. Then we'll go aggressive, and once he catches up to the back of them, we'll go full attack again. Ocon with a bit of a lockup, but he's still fine. But we might be forced to actually go attack a tad bit earlier because we aren't really catching up right now. We're running about the same lap times. So we're going to deploy and see if we can use the ERS there to catch up what we're lacking. Sprint is starting soon, yes. So once this race is over, we're going to have a look at the standings and then I'm going to have to end the stream. So hopefully make it in time. Come on, Norris, send it. There we go, good lad. We're still gonna just keep on aggressive. Gonna see if we can get maybe another couple of cars here. For Piastri, we're just gonna have to kind of keep him where he is, although going full attack here too isn't too bad of an idea. It's just 4 laps left. It's gonna cook the tires, but it's gonna give him potential to attack. See, Norris, can you get Russell here too? Yes, you can. 3 laps to go. Piastri is catching up there, so he might actually get Hamilton, and he might even get Russell if we're lucky. So we're going to deploy for him as well. Tires are overheating, but again, it's something we can live with. It's not too bad. Time for the Spa both regatta. We're gonna be delayed start again. Okay. Sprint start delayed, no start time yet. Okay, we'll keep going a little bit longer then. We're gonna have to do. It is summer break now in game as well after this, so we have some administrative things that we need to do. So that's fine then. 2 laps to go here. Do you think Piastri can hunt down the Mercs? Hulkenberg really came out on top here. Norris 2 is getting closer to his targets. About 10 minutes? Yeah, okay. Then we'll finish this up and have a look at the standings. And then we'll continue next time, which hopefully will be tomorrow. Summer break, you know. Okay, Norris is getting closer. Piastri is getting closer. We're going to have battles all the way to the end here. Norris is just sending it immediately. Let's see if we can also get Ocon now, because let me remind you, Sainz and Leclerc are here. We have not started the last lap yet. Last lap starts here, so we can still fight Ocon. Piastri can still hunt these two boys down. Things are looking good. Okay, so we still got a couple minutes. We can have a look at the standings, yeah.
This is the last lap.
There we go, we're starting last lap. Leclerc is washed. Norris is currently at the end of the straight. We don't really have anything for him. We could, of course, allow him to deploy what little he has left. We'll do that.
Is available.
Looks like he was trying that for a second. But yeah, we have double Merc ahead of Piastri. Can he eat this meal? And Sainz wins. Leclerc second. Verstappen is probably going to be third unless Alonso can pull off some magic in the last couple of corners. Oh. Piastri is sending it. Maybe, nah. Thought better of it. Norris 2. Just has a couple of corners here left now to make a move. Piastri is trying every trick in the book right now. Unless Norris is supposed to have something amazing here, Alpine is going to be leading into the summer break. Rain's so heavy. Let's hope it doesn't go to, bathtub levels. Ah, okay. The teams are updating Twitter. Unfortunately, Norris couldn't pull it off. I don't think, unfortunately, Piastri can either. If we had a few more laps, then maybe. But we did give them a good fight there, honestly. Did give them a good fight. So Sainz wins. Leclerc second, Verstappen third, then the Astons, then Perez, Ocon gets a good 7th place for Alpine. Norris 8th, and Hulkenberg scoring points for Haas, with Russell by winning the fight between the two Mercs. How has made that Merc wide? Wide Milton? Yeah. Well, we had a good chance there, but unfortunately, again, if that red flag had come like 2 laps earlier, Piastri wouldn't have already pitted. Basically, he is the one that got the only one with 3 pit stops, so he got mega shafted, unfortunately. Leclerc then extends his lead now over Verstappen and Perez, so again, could be interesting towards the end there. Norris up into 8th. He's once again splitting the 2 Mercs, and in the constructor standings then, Ferrari has overtaken Red Bull. So yeah. In terms of Piastri, he has just those 2 points. Still is having a bit of a problem getting into the points, unfortunately. Been a bit unlucky as well. but it is what it is. Now, in terms of F2, F3 standings, we'll have a look at them in just a second. But once again, we top the pit stop charts. So we have a decent lead there too. Unfortunately here, Piastri did have a bit of a problem too with his pit stop. So 5 laps, as you can see. He did have a little bit of an issue with his pit stop, car jack delay. It is what it is. But pit stop wasn't too bad. As the rain continues, at least Piastri will have a podium. Yeah. We'll be checking the F2 results in just a second. I just need to figure out where they are. So we did fail the qualifying position. We didn't fail the qualifying position streak because we bombed out in Q2. It is what it is. It is unfortunate, but it does cost us a lot of money. Piastri's performance rating has increased. The board is having the mid-season review. Score podiums in 25% of the season races, so in 26 we still have plenty of time. And we are ahead of the goal, so they will give us the complimentary 1.5 million that they always do. Which is funny. So 25 days here for the Dutch Grand Prix. Let's see if we can find the championship standings for F2. There they are. Porsche is currently leading. Daruvula second, Duran third, Vesti, Ivasa, Boschung, Hauger, Maloney, Behrman, and then Miney. Williams' favorite here is in 11th. And for the F3 championship here, we have Beganovic leading with Aaron and Saucy following in, Mini in third. So basically decent rating here based on the overalls. Mini should probably be leading, but that is a different story. But you can now have a look at all of their stats. Yeah, Veshaw is 11th there. It's just 2 points behind Maney. So. And let's have a quick look here at what we can expect from... There we go. I'm not allowed to check apparently, but we can check previous results. So Budapest here, I think that's when Piastri scored his 2 points, as you can see. Imagine beating a future world champion on your rookie season, yeah. So as you can see, Piastri did the only time he had the point scoring finish so far, Hungary. So he has been a bit unfortunate as well. Weekly scouting complete, he's 99 training, 78 leadership, 89 processes. Honestly, not bad. The 95 aptitude is really nice. The training 99 is nice. The process 89 is nice. Leadership, again, is probably the stat that I put least value in because errors are going to happen. And when they happen, you're probably going to be screwed, whether you use, 10 seconds or 8 seconds. So I say for long term, training, aptitude, and process are probably more important. So weekly is probably a very good choice, honestly, if you can poach him. Now, we actually failed the sidepod check for one of the cars, so we're going to have to replace it, which is fine. It is what happens. And Piastri did have he did level up his overalls, so I don't even know what he got. Probably a little bit of adaptability. Need to get that braking stat up, though. And is the sprint starting, or did they decide to delay it again? Because if it's starting, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. It's still delayed. Okay. Did they give any time when? Just says delayed start. Okay. So I'm going to trust you guys to tell me when it starts then, and hopefully you're not pulling my leg. And I think we're going to get the summer break done here. So we have summer break now, 25 days. I think we're going to be suffering. Like, a lot of teams are going to have huge progress here. So, again, our car is pretty good at top speed. It's pretty good at DRS effectiveness. I assume that these stats are fake. And what I mean by this is actually very simple. So as we just had a race, I would assume that many of the cars have taken damage. I don't think these are necessarily the, correct stats here, because let's say that we have a look at that's not the team I want to look at, Red Bull. According to this, we're beating them in a few things. They're suddenly 10th in low speed, 13th dirty air tolerance. So what I'm thinking is that Red Bull has failed some parts, they need to replace them, but the AI, it still shows us the AI car. So I do not think they're going to wait for all the rain to pass through. That might take a while. So I don't think our car is really that good. We'll have a look after the summer here, when things have been, fixed. Okay, underfloor. This is actually a pretty huge upgrade in terms of the car. But at the same time, we'll have to see here. We're going to be putting this on the car. If this is actually standing still, I'm going to be a bit surprised. So let's just make those 4 underfloors normally. It's going to take over a month, but it's good. We have plenty of time. With that though, we could have a bit of a look here in 34 days if we want to make another underfloor, because it is starting to get up there. It's starting to look good. So what I'm thinking is we have a bit of money now, 14 million. So what we're going to do is start another railing project. And once again, we're going to be focusing a little bit towards drag reduction, towards the other stats here. And it's not going to be a huge upgrade, as you can see, but it is going to be an upgrade. And that is the idea. How much am I paying Paolo? Can you check what Verstappen buyout is to contract him? I don't think I can check that because I don't think he's interested. Hey bro, to race am I going to play? Go today? I am probably going to end it before Sandwood because I'm just waiting for the sprint to start. We have an amazing grid for the sprint and Rainbow for Destroyed. Okay, hope you enjoy Formula 1 and football. As I said, I'm probably not going to do any more races today. Probably going to be watching the sprint once it starts, hopefully, before too long. Front wing will probably also be a good choice here, but as I said, we might need to start doing things like this, focusing 2 stats and doing this. And basically just boosting those stats by using intense, and then making another kind of balanced front wing. We'll see. This is going to take ages? Yeah, it might. I could also do the same with the suspension here. Which we actually can put on the car now, as, you know. Norris car, there we go. And then have a bit of a, you know, a benchmark to check again. So Norris car is what we put that on. And it'll still be an upgrade. Pretty decent upgrade at that. Well, not really. So what we basically could do again is just focus, as I said, just 1 stat. And try and, you know, build a bit of, what's it called? Expertise. Because like expertise and fatalities for this one is 3.4. 3.86, so I need to figure out exactly how this works too in the future. They're gonna start buying safety car? Okay. The sprint race don't play in my country's teams. I'm really mad at the... Dan Ricard is your favorite, and you just... that's unfortunate. Do they show the full feature race tomorrow then, or is it just a sprint race? This too could be actually something that might be good to make here. Just get that little bit extra top speed and acceleration. And still, we do want to kind of focus a little bit on brake cooling. The higher we get the brake cooling, the better. Airflow would too be neat, but at the same time, there's limits to that. So we could take a bit of a hit to it, help a little bit with the other stats there. And again, it seems like a lot of these pieces now are going to give us about the same in terms of a stat gain, and I find that a bit interesting. So currently, this would be potentially a huge upgrade, but we don't know where the one that we currently are creating is stacking up with it. So for now, we are probably just going to leave it as is. We could potentially do this, help with top speed, help with acceleration. But what I'm thinking that we actually are lacking the most right now is probably in the dirty air tolerance. So yeah, we'll probably wait for that this underfloor that we're making to get finished before we make anything else. Sidepods 2. I think we'll start a sidepod project here, mainly for the engine cooling aspect, as I said earlier. And all of these are just going to be, this is just going to be to increase the engine cooling stat of ours, but we could also maximize it with another stat like this. It'll help for future projects is the idea. And of course, engine cooling projects will save us money in the long run, let's be honest. Ferrari on the radio said their range should stop in about 5 minutes. Okay. Hello, Blaster. How's F1 Manager 23 compared to 22, and is it worth getting? it is a decent upgrade compared to 22 and adds complexity and AI that can be somewhat competitive with you. So if you value those things, it might be worth getting. But at the same time, it is kind of, I'd say, overpriced for what it is. It is just, it is just how things are. So it'll be up to you if you feel like it's worth it or not, honestly. So it's kind of hard to make a definite one there. But they've added pit stop cruise training. It's been simplified. You no longer put points to the driver and staff stats. And generally, it's more fun, I feel like, than 22, honestly. But that might be just because the game feels new again. So we're going to make this side pod. We're not planning on actually using this side pod. It's purely to boost the top speed for the next part, as well as the engine cooling, because we need to get that up. It's going to help with, hopefully, well, I don't know if it actually helps, but it's hopefully going to help with, you know, engine wear. And as you see there, financially, we're also getting very close to not having any more money to spend on the cost cap. So we probably have one more project in us for like a pure car upgrade. And after that, we're probably going to have to start focusing a little bit on research. So we'll see how that works out. Board has high confidence. How is the AI? Do you think they're more competitive season by season? Because it's my first season. And let's put it this way. I'm playing McLaren. I don't think we're going to be able to really beat the first top teams, the 4 top teams on pace in season 1. They have rebalanced development. They have rebalanced the cost cap. Money is harder to come by. So it's going to take a lot longer, really, to become a dominant team if you start as one of the bottom ones. So you'll have it's a longer journey that will be a bit more complex and probably a lot more fun. Okay, so Piastri is actually growing nicely at 2 points in cornering, 2 points in braking, 2 points in accuracy. That's very nice. Norris has got an extra cornering point, 2 adaptability points, and an accuracy point. That also is very nice. And Palou, since we haven't really been using him, it just gains 1 point in 3 stats, which isn't too bad. Have I put him on overtaking and defending training, though, or did I keep him balanced? I don't even remember. Yeah. They've really rebalanced development. I haven't found really a way to, you know, make a top team in the season yet. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay. With that in mind, though, as I said, we'll wait for that first underflow to be made, and then we'll make a decision if we're going to be making another one. We might just make another underfloor and then focus a little bit on research on the front wing and the rear wing, then underfloor, of course, and try and cancel out the changes to next season. It might be a good idea. Now, for the pit crew here, the goal is incredibly simple. We're going to still be focusing on cutting down time, but I think we might have reached our cap. Yeah, it looks like it. So 2:015 might be the lowest time we can go to with our current aptitude. So if we were to do this, yeah, we have reached the cap here. So at one point while you do your pit crews, you're going to reach a cap. This is basically the pit crew screen, by the way, Blast, if you want to have a look. And we have reached our speed cap, which is 2.015 seconds. And again, this is based on the aptitude of your sporting director. So you want to, if we want to have quicker pit stops than this, we're going to have to go kidnap ourselves a new sporting director. So what I'm going to switch the focus over to now is very simply lowering the chance of errors. Okay, we need to do at least one more gym session for them. And then another one. And there we go. Now we reach the cap. We can't go below 2:015, even if we do more Git gym, so there's no point in doing it. And as you can see here, we can then focus on just lowering errors from this point on. We can also do some car building, of course, to basically max that skill, and we might actually just do that. With Sandwood here, we're reaching tide levels, so let's just put in a couple of car building exercises. And that was actually apparently one too much. But now we can start focusing on lowering the error chance. We can get the car building up to cap as well. 17:35, so you have about 10 minutes to go then. Okay. About 37 million from cost cap, and we're about halfway through the season, so we're probably going to hit it. So that's what I'm saying. We're probably going to do 1 or 2 more upgrades, and then we're going to be focusing on research for the rest of the season. He really wants for sure on the team. It's fine though. Apparently, my Discord decided to make noise. I thought it was muted, but clearly it isn't, so I am just gonna sign out quickly before someone takes advantage. There we go. I'll be reading that later. Sorry. Okay, so we have our schedule set up for this month. It should be okay. We have Netherlands at the end. And we'll basically be focusing on the pit crew areas. As you can see, we have reached the peak of estimated finish time. It's not going to go up before the end of the season, most likely, so I don't need to worry about that. We're going to be buffing car building a little bit. We're going to be, again, lowering the chances of mistakes. And as you can see, currently the average of these are about 60. But just by what we're going to be doing this month, we're going to be getting +8, +6, +7, +7, +5, and +2 here. So you can imagine, if we could keep this going for just 2-3 more months, we'd be reaching the cap. So, can you split the day into 2 trainings? Every day is split into 2 trainings. So you have the morning and the afternoon. So, if I want to, we could have only afternoon trainings for all of them. Yes. The reason why I'm not using Paolo in FP1 is very simple. And that's also the reason why I kind of want to leave them in FP2. It's because, sorry, not FP2, F2, it's because they will progress a lot quicker there. And the confidence boost for Piastri is actually kind of important right now. And I don't want to sacrifice it for either Piastri or Norris until we are in a more secure position. But yeah, every day is split into 2, so you can do 2 different trainings every day. And if you also want to here, you can actually focus on what era you want to focus on. So you can see we can move it to wheel gun. And as a result, we can say focus on whatever is the lowest stat if we really want to. Car building 2 has a cap of 86, so potentially we might want to get a sporting director that is high leveled, because the current aptitude of 86 means that our quickest pit stop can only be 2:0:15. So it's a bit of a rigid system, but it's better than last year's, I dare say. I'm here for the 3rd time before I leave to a Spa race. Yeah, I'm about to do that too. Honestly, hopefully it doesn't get cancelled. So probably gonna keep going for about 5 more minutes. So we really want this man to get a bit more of, you know, an aptitude level. So we might spend some money on the team hub as we go. I know they keep delaying it. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm still going. Interestingly enough. So yeah, we are focusing on industry standards. Hopefully we can get that aptitude skill a little bit up. But he is very young, just 36 years old. So we could keep him for the next 25 seasons if we max him. So it's good. I think we were ready though. As I said, we aren't going to be doing too many designs. We did a design on the side pods basically to try and boost the next one. We'll see if that actually works out. And we're doing the same with the chassis. And both of these are basic experiments too for research. Okay, we've had a fire in the design center, so all the projects are going to be delayed by 10 days. Which I believe means that we aren't going to get them done before the race. So that's unfortunate. And Cadillo here actually only has 4 months left of his contract, 4.1 million. We could actually afford him very easily. And he is probably the best choice here, so shall we go poaching? I think we'll do that next time though, Cadillo, because he is similarly rated as Vac, but he is interested in our team. And I believe the technical chief is our current weakest team member, if I don't remember correctly. Yeah, as you can see. Technical chief is our weakest member. This would be a huge upgrade to the car, honestly, to get him going. So we will be switching out Holdy here. It's a no-brainer. It's just going to be what it is. But, yeah. We will continue up to the Dutch Grand Prix. And then we will probably call that a night. I just want to check the warehouse quick here for what we need. We are going to manufacture a chassis. We are going to need that. And also keep in mind that we want to try and avoid reaching the cost cap, because reaching the cost cap is going to be a very negative experience. In terms that we might actually run out of parts. For now, though, we're going to have to wait. It's just 3 days to manufacture a front wing. Only having 2, though, is a problem. There we go. So we can install this now on both cars. We can install the underfloor on both cars as well. Side pods looking good. Should probably manufacture one though. Both cars. Let's make 2 more front wings though before we do anything else. And again, we do kind of need a little bit of the cost cap available to us if we do destroy parts. We do have idle engineers though, just that one man is sitting there, wondering why they want to include him. But what we will do now is have a look at the car analysis. So remember, before this, we had a pretty... I don't understand why our car is good, and that makes me angry. Honestly. Honestly, at this point, we have a car that is comparable to some of the top teams, and that actually does make me kind of angry, because I don't understand why. Let's have a look at Ferrari. Ferrari is still better than us, but let's face it, Ferrari being the worst team at high-speed cornering is not something I believe to be true. So we're going to see before the race weekend here, because again, I think they are lacking parts, and they will again apply that once this race weekend starts, because if not, I would be quite surprised. So again, this chassis here isn't for manufacturing, really. It's for testing. But we'll have a look at that next time around. Let's see here. So again, this chassis is basically just a testing ground for cooling and top speed. And what I want to have a look at now is if we go research. Just quickly and go to the chassis. I think the research here is going to be exactly the same. The percentages down this seems to be pretty close to what it was. But engine cooling starts at a higher level. So research seems to be limited in some ways, honestly. Research seems to have a bit of a limit to it, but it does work with your base experience, because I'm pretty sure the engine cooling started way lower last time around. So that is good at least. So it does base off your current expertise, I guess is the best choice there. Although we would, I am going to manufacture that chassis, and then we'll have a look at it again. I'm going to try and remember that 42 number. Ugh, number. Jesus. English is hard. So, make one of these chassis. It's a $500,000 waste of the cost cap, but I'm going to do it for science. We already wasted 3 million. There we go. We are at the race weekend. We will not be starting this race, unfortunately. But what we will be doing is... just checking before we go now, because I am about to go. I've said it now for half an hour. The thing that I wanted to check is to see if the car is still, believed to be the best. And there we go. The car stats were lying to us. We did not have the best car by far. So the AI cars too do lose parts, but they wait with replacing them until they reach the race weekend. So if you go just a little bit back, you'll see that we were ranked about 6th in high-speed cornering. Ferrari was ranked last, so they've put on some better parts. I would hope that that's it, that they're replacing the parts that were damaged, because if not, it could potentially mean that the AI is cheating, which would be quite a frustrating experience, but I would assume it's that the parts were damaged and they didn't replace them until the following race weekend. But yeah, thank you all for watching, thank you all for being here, hope you've enjoyed, I've had a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this maybe tomorrow. Probably around the same time. We'll have to see though. We have the race tomorrow. I think it starts at... doesn't it start at 3 my time? Yeah, 3 my time. So maybe I'll start about 3 hours before the race, something like that. We'll get a little bit done before, maybe a little bit after. We'll see. But yeah, the only thing we're the best at is that we have no extra weight. We're kind of a glass cannon. But... at the same time, these stats are starting to get closer to, top of midfield, where we're going to start fighting for that 4th best place soon. Bye, and hopefully Sparta starts. Yeah, I agree. Again, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.